alive.
We're live. I usually do the thing where I'm like, tell people who you are, where you're from, but half of this current thing does not really exist online, except Yama technically does exist online.
Hardly though. I just play Dead by Daylight all the time. I don't do it for social media anymore.
That's fair.
I live on Discord.
You're making good choices, honestly.
I think it's great because Yama's just like, yeah, if you want me and it's an emergency, message me on Discord, not WhatsApp.
Yeah, don't message me on WhatsApp. It's like muted. I'll like look at it in 10 business days. I'm like, oh, whoopsie.
I know, it's actually quite funny because I'll message
I'm
them.
still old enough. Oh, sorry.
You're still?
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm still too like I still use email. Like that is still the best way to contact me, which is
Are you serious?
embarrassing. But
I sympathize.
Yeah, no.
I sympathize.
Really?
Email's
Yeah, no,
not
email
the
is the best way to
anymore
contact
me unless you email my work email, and then I'm monitoring that pretty regularly. So
yeah, if you email me, I'm probably the quickest I will respond.
Senpai!
I'm not giving up my email though.
It's okay. I think you respond fairly often on Discord.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a fairly punctual person in general, but I'm just used to responding. It's trained from when I had to do emergency respond to work from my emails, so like I just can't ignore an email.
That's fair. Yeah. So I think the only person that really needs to do that is Steve. Who are you? Where can we find you?
My name is Steve. I am your game mommy. I am running Healing Rifts here on Jack's lovely channel, Meister Hypester. And you can find me at Dying of Exposure, wherever Dying of Exposure is found on social medias and stuff like that. And here on Twitch, of course, and over on TikTok if you want to hear me complain about cosplayers and SAG-AFTRA.
Complain about cosplayers? What did we do to you?
We're not gonna get into that. I can discuss that. It's not interesting nor relevant for this stream. As far as the American Screen Actors Guild strike and what they're requesting of cosplayers and stuff like that. Yeah. But it doesn't affect most of the cosplay we've talked about because it has nothing to do with video games. But or anime for that matter. What we are talking about today is Dungeons and Dragons and Healing Rifts and a little town, well, not a little town, a pretty sizable town, honestly, but not quite a city, Southgate, in a Kingdom of Adrain, during a perfectly lovely and peaceful time where in the last session, our wonderful, wonderful protagonists found themselves participating in a day festival. A festival that's perfectly normal and isn't about the fact that there's thousands and thousands of refugees locked outside of the walls of Southgate, desperately trying to seek some sense of solace and security, and instead we spend the money on the festival. There are carousels and merry-go-rounds, carnival games. There were feats of strength and little gifts given out to people. Little fun magical gifts or a knife that stabs and heals at the same time, which is considerably more threatening the more you think about it. And all manner of just like celebration, some live performances that went very well for some and pretty all right for others. But now we are at an auction that was mildly subverted by a theft of some mysterious blood. Yeah. A theft of a mysterious blood and an illusionary mask. So mildly subverted by that, but not interrupted in any way, shape, or form because the distractions were good. There was a skunk panic for a moment, but that seems to have all wrapped itself up. We are back at the auction with a stoic Fang, arguably, currently distracted by even though their player is currently absent. We are realists today. We will have more Reia in the future, but for now, we will continue with Yuri and Hicks and Nhudrel.
Hey, you got his name right.
I'm getting there. I'm actively working on getting that Nhudrel kind of roll R thing. I literally do it every day to try and get my mouth to do it. Because And then once I've mastered it, I can confidently go back to just calling them noodles. But until then, the auction seems to be gathering back up. The mayor was being escorted by several like city guard. They're kind of at 4 points, 2 in front and 2 in back, kind of acting as an escort. Not something that normally the mayor does. You've all seen Mayor Shemley meander about. For those of you that have been here for like a few days for Hicks, and then certainly the month for Nhudrel and Fang. But probably, a kind of passive acknowledgement at the overall tension that no one can leave Southgate. But the mayor comes to take audience with the auction as well as other people are gathered. Now, the auction hasn't officially started yet because I want to give you all time to do things. I believe Hicks, you specifically wanted to kind of keep an eye out for like where the important people are, the moneyed people, if you will, or the movers and shakers of the region. Is that correct?
Yeah, he wants to see where the higher up of the hierarchy, I guess, is.
The hierarchy is.
Because they are bound to know something.
Give me a
Oh shit! Wait, I don't have my thing open. Yes, carry on.
Give me a perception check with advantage when your sheet is open.
I brought up all the notes and everything, but then I forgot to bring up the actual.
Why would the
sheet.
tabs not have the titles of the individual characters in them? D&D Beyond, come on, get your shit together.
What?
What?
When I've got it open on multiple tabs with all your character sheets open, when I'm not in it just says, there we go. Now that
my
it's
tabs say the names.
Mine, I had to re-click into each one of them. I just opened them up in new tabs. It hadn't realized or pushed that to the title.
I needed a perception check, hey?
Yeah, perception check.
What was that?
Whoa, that was so close. That was so close.
What?
I nearly got a 1.
You got advantage,
by
the way, if you need it.
No, I don't. It's a 21.
Yeah.
It's a 21. It looked like it was gonna land on a 1, and then it went over to 19.
Just gonna. Okay, so it's 21. All right, you see a few different people. Let me pull up my smart boy, and I put my notes in front of me before all of this got started. You see a few different people of note. Most of the people here in Southgate are some blend of either human, halfling, dwarf, half elf, elf. No high elves, so like wood elves, but a pretty like rote standard, bog standard Tolkien-esque kind of thing. There is the occasional tiefling or tabaxi or like kind of more ethereal things, but those communities haven't developed or didn't develop in this region, and so they're less populated here. But no one you wouldn't be able to just all identify on spot as like this is generally the aesthetic. This is probably the region that they're from and everything like that.
From what you can see, there's no other Shadow Kai around.
No, not one. Yeah, no other Shadowkai around. None
Good.
of those. None of the cool elves.
Just chicken.
Cool elves.
But yeah, so you see a few people. You see one kind of elderly gentleman, probably in human years in their 70s or 80s, monocle, vest, cane kind of holding them up, worn down with age, but not like a gust of wind would blow them over. Just a staunch person that is getting on and dealing with joint pain. Kind of a cul-de-sac, bald around the sides, a little good old-fashioned Patrick Stewart kind of aesthetic around him. You see a halfling, like robust, well-fed, laughing, kind of loud halfling, kind of holding court. She has a middle-aged woman, kind of finely dressed, definitely more extravagantly dressed. The jewelry's expensive, the petticoats are expensive, that sort of aesthetic. You see a person, sort of clean shaven, slicked back hair, kind of tightly and almost restrictively dressed. Not actually a dissimilar sort of like physical countenance to how you're standing, Hicks, but with the 21 perception, you'd see that there's not a lot of muscle on their frame. They just look very, very controlled and deliberate, maybe even a little uncomfortable in such a social situation. And then a few other people kind of scattering about that definitely mark that they're either more finely dressed, their gaze is kind of looking generally around around the scenario, or they honestly just look like they know what they're more about. They're more present in the moment. Most of the people at the auction are regular Southgate citizens, right? They're laughing, they're joking and stuff like that. I'm not going to give too much description of all of these NPCs unless you go up to them.
Oh god, no, I don't need them all.
But yeah,
I just need to know if there's a fancy looking
but
one.
essentially there's the old man, there's the halfling woman, and there's the severe looking person, and those are the three that I'll identify for you.
What race is the severe looking person, did you say?
Unclear.
Oh.
Not elf. They don't have pointy ears. Their hair is short. They've got
The
kind of
severe looking one, was that the old one?
No, the old one is an old human, just a old Patrick Stewart looking motherfucker.
Patrick Stewart.
Looking motherfucker.
Oh, is this the flicked back haired person?
This is the side. This is the short hair, little bit not quite an undercut, right? But short hair on the sides, little moppier on top, kind of slicked back, really clean shaven, really like stiff persona about them. So there's the severe person, the halfling woman, and then the older man. The older man looks affable enough in his countenance. He doesn't look like he's in a bitter place or anything like that. He's having a conversation with some other person standing near him, kind of thing.
Okay. I mean, he wouldn't do anything right now. He's just kind of gonna have a little notice, and then kind of keep an eye on them, rather through for a little bit longer before he actually does anything.
Oh, man. Let me just mark the ones that I have mentioned.
Nhudrel's gonna like lean over and be like, "Have you been to an auction like this before?"
I've been to a few. There's always interesting people here.
So you're interested in the people?
Of course. Aren't they interesting to you?
Looking for a wife.
You're my wife, you little bitch.
What? I'm guessing you didn't say that.
No.
We're not at that dynamic for Hicks and Yuri yet.
Yeah. Listen, I have my ships, so like.
Yuri, as I've discussed, their inside of Southgate is always conveniently, it's spread out enough, it's open enough, and it's manicured enough that there's always a convenient tree or kind of separation grass lawn with something for Yuri to kind of secure themselves in, regardless of what area of the city it is. This is not a crowded blocks kind of town. Is Yuri there, or is Yuri kind of more amongst the kind of scattered sort of crowd that's collected around this auction?
I would say at this point, I think Yuri has the mask, right?
Yeah, Yuri does have the mask.
Yeah. Hicks gave him the mask, and then he gave Fang the vial of blood.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would hear Yuri whisper, and then look over, and then just realize you have no idea who you're looking at, as it's just like a generic human boy, like young adult man is there, because Yuri is going to be wearing the mask from now on to disguise himself as just a random human in just normal civilian clothes. But it probably looks a little bit pantomime-esque with how he thinks civilians look. Like it is a little bit like a Robin Hood play kind of outfit.
But I need to
for a
see
human.
something.
Say again, sorry?
I was looking for something.
Doing a quick little perception check for your character, I see. To me, like but yeah, so Yuri, Does it make Yuri feel a bit more secure that you kind of have this like ongoing sort of like disguise self ability to? Because I mean, Yuri, you always, of course, have some of those abilities inherently, but like now you can literally, without using or thinking of any resources, be essentially whoever you want within reason, right? Does it make Yuri a bit more secure in being in amongst a population?
Yeah, I think it's very much, it's quite normal for Yuri to know how to disguise anyway, but like like now he doesn't have to worry about it. It's probably just a bit like, I mean, he's probably going to cause chaos, but it's an option that he's now using and will probably continue to use whenever we're in places because he looks like a leaf.
And just to clarify, because it's a magical item and it's not any kind of conscious effort put into it, if Yuri were to go unconscious, whether it be sleeping or in combat, the illusion doesn't drop.
Funny enough, with disguise self, it does do that anyway. It
does? I didn't know that disguise self just maintains.
Yeah, it has no concentration. It just maintains for the length.
Yeah, for the length. I didn't know that it managed to maintain even under unconscious conditions. Oh, very, very funny. So yeah, it just operates like that. Everyone, you're confident because you disguised yourself many times in your history. You're confident that no one else here, other than possibly the people that you would be more comfortable with, being the players, potentially seeing through it. No one else here has any chance of ever understanding your size, even if unknowingly to Yuri, you look like the poster child version of like you look like how someone would set dress a person to be whatever disguise you are of the common folk. Auction starts kind of gathering. Mayor Shemley gets into position. He doesn't go up onto the auctioneer stage or anything like that. He just acknowledges people, does the politician sort of wave in acknowledgement, maybe gathers someone over there. You see Hicks, because you're watching for it, you see the severe looking person and Mayor Shemley make clear eye contact and both nod at each other, but don't approach or gather to speak to each other as items start coming up for auction. The auctioneer is part auctioneer, part probably what you would imagine a carnival barker would look like. Very, very like small topper hat, and kind of embroidered vest, or embroidered vest, blousey kind of silken shirt, a little bit more resplendent in and deliberately pretty in their dress as they come up to the stage. They have a parchment list of the things that they're going to auction off, and they begin calling, and it's like, all right, for the spring festival auction, it has been my great honor and duty to be able to auction these items off for you. The first item on the bid is a beautiful portrait of, or not portrait, sorry, that's my mistake, landscape of the Southgate City as one would see it from a great distance at, say, a 3/4 isometric angle. An interpretation, certainly, unless someone had magical flying powers that painted this. We're going to start the bidding off at 5 silver, and the auction begins.
I'm gonna start using prestidigitation and just spread whispers throughout the crowd, being like, "It's so ugly. It is obviously a fake," and I'm just gonna start like degrading the piece of work.
Oh my god.
With my prestige, just to absolutely derail.
Give me a persuasion check. Let's see how successful.
Would the other two know that it's coming from Yuri?
I don't know. I mean, it does require.
Wait, is this just... Yeah, it's the same anyway. It's 13.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your persuasion and performance are probably almost exactly the same. Because the whispers are believable regardless. It's just how much influence do they have over the crowd. I don't know. Is Yuri? You're not a sorcerer, so you don't have like the mechanical hidden magic. But is Yuri trying to hide magic?
Yeah,
Like, is Yuri like standing?
he is not
standing
trying.
like next to them, or is he like, like?
I mean, he's
Because
just
he's
a
in his
random
disguise
civilian
now.
looking.
So yeah, but do
well,
they
I
know
imagine...
that it's him? They probably do.
Well, I rolled a perception
Because
check
they would have
just
seen
to
him put it on his face.
Yeah, I rolled a perception just to see like, does Nhudrel notice? And I rolled high, so he very much
Can
just
I
like.
still?
Go on.
I was gonna say, am I able to do a stealth to try and see how
Yeah, if
subtly I'm
someone's
doing it?
trying to perceive you, you can always do a stealth check.
Yeah, I mean, if you beat Nhudrel's 20, yeah.
I probably won't. But no,
You
I
never
thought I
know.
got. I thought I got
Uh-oh.
a 17, which would have been a
Yeah, well, I
minimum
can
7.
roll it. Well, mine won't be very high, I don't think.
But
Yeah.
the 11.
My
for
roll-
Yeah,
stealth
so there,
check.
so like Hicks doesn't know it's Yuri.
Oh, the 10 on Hicks'
But to be
perception.
fair, he probably doesn't care. He's probably like, I
Yeah.
don't care where that little shit goes.
I think it would be
But-
very funny because, like, in my head, it's just Nhudrel like sort of walking with them, and 1 second green, 1 second boy, and he just sort of like double takes and
boy.
like.
Oh boy!
In your
Okay.
journey of kind of understanding what's going on, Nhudrel, I will say that at this point you can at least self-note to your own character. Nhudrel can self-note that there are specific folklore you can begin to investigate on people that are relatively known for their penchant for
Oh my god.
for that.
Nhudrel's gonna HR background check me.
Because it's not that you don't know that there are magical ways to disguise itself. You do know that. But there are creatures and there are creatures and communities and lore, and especially a lot of folklore and older history that's very much questionable on its accuracy, that talk a lot about different, and it's not one, there's multiple. So this is not you narrowing down exactly on anything, but you do note that it's like, oh yeah, there's probably folklore that relates to people that like enjoy doing this, and almost do it as casually as someone might change a hat or a shirt, versus that. Essentially.
Okay.
But
Well, while Nhudrel is kind of babysitting, following,
Nhudrel's
checking
literally
on Yuri,
going
Hicks
to
is...
grab Yuri and put him between us. Like literally, just
I'm back, kid.
I'm not. Yes, I'm not losing this one. Just like putting him between Nhudrel and Hicks.
Hicks will just like look at Nhudrel and then like look at this human
Child.
that he's grabbing, and then almost want to question it, but at the same time doesn't really care. So he's just gonna look back at the auction.
I'm gonna, as Hicks looks over, I'm gonna look back, and with disguise self, he's gonna alter his face to do the Cheshire cat grin before returning it to the normal human smile.
Horrifying on a human child.
I know. I think Noodle's gonna straight up just be like, please.
He's doing it at Hicks. I'm not sure.
Oh, he's doing it at Hicks. Okay, good. Not at me. Good, cool.
I feel like at this point Hicks would then realize who it is, because he knows, like he knows you as a little shit.
I feel like
so
that gives away the ghost a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
I
don't know much, but I know much about this one.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but he's weird. Then Hicks would, when he does that, he would like, again, be very blank-faced. Maybe give Yuri a blink of like, that was odd, but that's about as far as his expression goes. And then just lean down to him more, and like Nhudrel could probably hear this if he was like listening to what Hicks was gonna say. But Hicks would say in a lower voice to Yuri, I'm surprised you chose the human of all the things you could change to.
Well, they're boring.
And better when he's got like that, like condescending.
Well, they're boring, so they're easy to hide as. It's just like no one suspects the plain white bread.
Have some respect. And then he's just gonna stand back up straight and carry on looking at the audience. Audience?
The bidding
Auction.
for the audience, I think, is appropriate for auction. Bidding, of course, limps along for the painting a little bit. It manages to get a decent-ish price, but enthusiasm wasn't really there for the art, and the auctioneer kind of notices and is just like kind of adjusts his hat a little bit and kind of looks down the list and then gestures off to the side to the people that are bringing the items up onto stage, and like rearranges the order a little bit, like with hand gestures and everything. And it's like, the next item is from the Shemley's coffers here at Southgate, the city sort of treasury, and some of the optimal items that we have. Now, this is not something that's on display for the general audience and to view anyway, so we're not taking anything away from our historical center to talk about the history of Southgate, but we do want to make sure that people have access to things they might not have access for. So this next beautiful necklace is with sapphire insets and everything, was worn by the founder of Southgate before even the kingdom of Adrain was founded in the last era, and kind of goes off and is like, do I hear 10, or do I hear 10 gold to start the bidding? 10 gold. And it's a kind of a beautiful kind of silver and gem inset sort of thing, with like sapphire precious stones sort of speckled throughout it, and one large sapphire in the center. It's definitely worth considerably more than 10 gold, but that starts rapidly happening as bidders do it. And now you see a little bit more engagement, Hicks, from the old man and the middle-aged halfling woman, as they're beginning to bid on things or on this much more precious and valuable item. As they kind of bid up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Were there any books on auction?
Yes, there are. There are books on auction.
Okay, well, please let me know if there any of them come up.
You'll know. I've got a few little items that I have on the list. None of which have like significant, like super cool mechanical benefits, but some of which have little like magical nonsense, similar to the nonsense you've been running into so far.
Yay.
And everything like that, and then some plotty things, and everything. So you'll hear it when it comes up.
Okay.
Well, I think obviously as the bidding goes crazy for this necklace, Hicks doesn't actually want it, but he will like raise his hand in the lower bids, because obviously when you want something and you're auctioning it off, and someone else is bidding against you, you like turn to look at them and you're like, it's mine. So Hicks is gonna do that just
to encourage the capitalism.
He's gonna do that so that like the old man and stuff like look at him.
This is giving me very.
But then he's not gonna actually like
Senpai,
try to get
notice
it.
me vibes.
So Hicks, I am gonna actually have you. This is gonna be a little bit different for D&D. I'm gonna have you roll a d20 and subtract 4 from it, and you want the lower number. I'm gonna have you make an inverse stealth check, so that like you're being made more aware of by the people that do that. That like
I got a 1.
You got a nat 1?
No, with a 5 minus 4.
5 minus, so a dirty 1, if you will, in this.
Yeah, a dirty 1.
That's amazing.
Amazing. We love to see it. Hicks, you time things just right to make sure that for the people that you've kind of clocked around here, the people that seem to at least carry the money or the countenance of people that are above this sort of, not to be derogatory, but the common ilk, right? Like there's the average everyday baker and everything, and like they're living their lives and probably having a better time of it than most. And then there's the people that are either have external stressors or are there to be seen with their wealth, or are there to obtain more wealth, that are a little bit more deliberate. And with a unnatural 1, with a modified 1, you are nailing it on this intent of getting people to bid up and then notice that you're bidding, and then kind of slyly just comfortably backing away when it looks like you've done what you need to do and the bidding kind of moves off of you. Does Yuri do anything to change the value of this item? I'm fine with you messing with. Do you stay in the same theme? Do you stop messing with the item? Is there anything Yuri does here?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's really an item Yuri would care about that
Exactly.
much. Like, so I don't think. I think he's kind of distracted now, and he's just staring off into the distance until something of interest peaks. Can I actually look to see like how to phrase this? Who, if there is like a storeroom or something that these are being held in, like, can I see where these are coming from before
So
they get brought onto auction?
these are actually coming from something relatively close to the auctioneer sort of stage pedestal. It's like, I call it a stage. It's like, like it's like a meter by a meter. It's just like almost a glorified soapbox
Wow.
that is standing up so that they can be seen above the crowd. And they're just, speaking with their chest, evoking from or emitting from the diaphragm to to be loud enough and be easily heard by this crowd. This person's obviously not unfamiliar with live stage performance, and so this is very simple. And so there's like a calling it a shed would be a insult to sheds. It's almost essentially a bunch of leaning plank boards that have been hastily tacked together to make a loose storage facility for where these items are being held. And it's literally like maybe 20, 30 feet kind of behind this little auctioneer stage. And there's a couple people that are helping bring the items out from inside of it. I would say it's roughly about a 10 foot by 15 foot square, or as far as or essentially 3 meters by 5 meters, kind of rectangle. That does have like a kind of a doorway entryway and like a back and everything, but it is a little bit visible to things. It's not really like tucked off to the side or in an area that would be there. But if you want a perception about it, are you looking to see if you can sneak into the storeroom?
Don't know yet.
With the intent?
Just having a look. He's just
like
looking around for now.
I would like to say, like, during this time, do you know how, like, parents with kids, they'll just have, like, one hand on them, either by the shoulder or by the collar, or just, like, Nhudrel has that.
Yeah, I'm the
Yuri.
naughty kid at the supermarket. I'm with you, it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
naughty kid at the supermarket. That's, yeah, that's fine. It's not like this kid can teleport. You're fine, sure.
Sure. It's not like regular unteleporting kids don't break away from that all the time.
Yep.
I mean, I don't do anything. Yeah, I just instead would like to keep an eye out for. Yuri is trying to gauge who's involved with the blood stealing.
Ooh, okay. So the thing that you learned, just as a reminder for blood stealing, is you're looking for. It was the Katangan family that had donated the blood.
Yeah, so he's trying to figure out who that is.
Yeah. Do you want to do whether it's an investigate or a perception roll to see if you can overhear the name mentioned? Well,
can it be a perception roll, please?
What? Yeah.
I would like to perceive it.
You would like to perceive it.
No, that's
oh my god,
that's why
I
Hicks
can't
is also trying
roll.
to get with the big rich people because he's assuming.
Yeah, I can't roll above a 13 today.
Oh, it happens. It happens.
Wait, do you want to give me the help action, Nhudrel? Do you want to help me?
Yeah, Nhudrel's absolutely.
Well, you got to tell Nhudrel what you're trying to do.
No, but Nhudrel's also looking for the same thing, though.
Yeah,
like,
Nhudrel, you can do a help action, but I think for Nhudrel,
I don't know if it would be a help action or if Nhudrel will have to roll by himself, because I don't think he knows that Yuri is trying to do the same thing he is.
I will allow you to use it as a help action because Yuri's perception, I think, is better than yours. Is it? Yeah, it is.
Mine's a +5.
And so, and if it's successful, you both kind of clock it in your own ways. I will allow that. I will allow the system mechanics to give you the better of the two perception bonuses. So if you want to roll it or what have you, this will basically be each of you are separately rolling with Yuri's perception bonus.
Am I allowed?
It's the thing that I do.
To investigate?
Yeah, if you would rather do it as an investigate instead of a perception.
Yeah, because you have intelligence, don't you?
Yeah.
Wait, what's your investigate score?
+4.
It's up to you because I get +5. So
that's not a huge difference. It's
Yeah.
your call. I, as a GM, when multiple people all kind of want to do something, am more than fine with everybody being like, okay, who's the best at this? We're just trying to
Okay,
dice roll this to success.
yeah. In that case, you
And
you
get
could roll with
that +5 bonus.
Yeah, you could roll with your +5.
And I will give both Nhudrel and Yuri their own.
Well, I'm going to get
perception
a nat 1 now anyway after all this, so don't you
after
worry.
all this discussion.
great.
It's
Well,
only a 15.
It's a 15. It takes some time. Some other auction items come out, right? Like there's some attire. There's some both reams of cloth as well as like a couple dresses. There's some like a fine tea set that comes out. There's like some other like little like statuary, like a bust of some historical figure that matters to the region. Another one of one of the Drain family. The current queen. And you see some things, but it does take a little bit of time. But I think with 15 over that time, whether it's through whispers or through kind of judging as the auction goes on, and as they get to there, you get a sense that there is a person that is almost kind of rough looking. They probably didn't come under Hicks's notice when they were first looking at this, because they don't give the countenance of someone that comes from money. They're wearing kind of like a leather kind of duster, and just like pretty like almost workman canvas pants and everything like that. They're in very functional, like I do labor clothing. They're also kind of casually armed. You can see a dagger at their belt. You suspect that there might be something there. But I think around the same time, Nhudrel, you kind of keep coming back to notice of this person because they sort of stand out in this way, out in this way, and they look a lot more like maybe a soldier than they do a soldier in civilian's clothes. Not even a soldier, like a bounty hunter in civilian's clothes, which would be someone you kind of passingly would have interacted with in your past. Not this individual person, but like that sort of countenance.
Mm-hmm.
And Yuri, you definitely hear eventually someone addresses them as Mr. Or by their name, by their surname, and they eventually get addressed in kind of hushed whisper as Mr. Katangan. And you can, if you continue to observe and look at this person, you can see a belt, like a little kind of like hanging from like the inside of their belt. There's like essentially a quiver, with several arrows and such kind of on them. They're too equipped up for mobility. They're too utilitarian to be that. But you do hear Mr. Katangan kind of come across that. Hicks, the people that you have been clocking have been bidding against each other and everything, but the severe looking person has said nothing, has engaged visually, like eyesight wise, they're engaged in the auction, but they seem completely, they bid on no amount of money for any of the other items. They seem completely disinterested in it, placid, almost giving you a familiar vibe. This person wouldn't make a bad Shadowfellian resident, if you will. They definitely, they seem to be almost completely unperturbed or undisturbed by the environment around them. They are aware, they are engaging visually with things, but they're not making moves or showing emotion.
The urge for me to be like a relative.
He's human, excuse me. How dare you?
Yeah. Well, he's at least not an elf of any type. No pointy ears.
No, I mean Hicks would notice that and kind of just keep his eye on him, I guess.
So it comes, a little bit of time passes, and then finally the auction item comes. They're like, a rare vial from the creatures, often far afield from here in our lovely little hometown of Southgate. We have a rare vial of much sought after materials obtained through the bravery of the Katangan family. Can we bring up the vial of the blood? And the blood comes, and they're like, from the eastern tribes, of dangerous and wily, are wily creatures. Those all known to us.
I would like to use minor illusion to make the hands look like they're dripping blood as he's talking.
Yeah, give me a performance check for that. That's not really persuasion. I just want to see
Yuri.
Nhudrel, look after your child.
That's an 18.
18. So hands are dripping in blood and everything, and he looks at his hands like he's talking for a little bit, and people start kind of gasping a little bit, a little pearl clutching.
I'll do a prestidigitation that shouts poacher. Or a minor illusion, because that can do screaming at
loudly. Are you doing that on
well.
the auctioneer's hands or on Mr. Katangan's hands?
Whoever was holding the blood.
Oh, whoever was holding the blood. Okay,
yeah.
I'll say the auctioneer.
But then I'm also going to do a minor illusion of them yelling poacher, or random people yelling poacher.
Yeah, poacher. Well, you all see, and all 3 of you can see this now, including all 4 of you actually, because Fang can see it as well. Mr. Katangan like looks around, hearing poacher, and everything. Very, very like looks around, not suspiciously, very like affronted, offended, and looking to see if he can figure out who would say something about them. And it's like, we're not here to talk politics. We're here to have a nice auction. Come from the auctioneer, who is currently like got a napkin trying to wipe the blood from his hands, and it's not working. Like, and everything. And so he just kind of tucks them behind his back. And he goes,
I'll stop for now. I'll give it a moment to simmer down for now.
Yeah, give it a moment to simmer down. But poacher, definitely all 3 of you can clock that they're looking around. Can I get just a very low DC insight check from all of you? This is gonna be a DC 10 probably.
I got a 21.
I got a 4.
Me too. Hat twinsies.
But you know what? Yeah.
See, I'm so
2.
smart.
Oh, look at us. Yeah. Well,
So Yuri, you're the only one that catches this. Weirdly enough, maybe it's because Nhudrel and
Hicks is probably trying to bid again.
No, Nhudrel would absolutely be too furious right now. He would have gone like white-faced in anger. This is probably the first time you've seen him angry.
Hicks would just be trying to keep up with the bidding so that he gets the attention again.
Yuri. It's your angle. Hicks is too tall for this and is elsewise distracted. Nhudrel's too tall for this. You are at an angle where you can look up at Fang's downturned face. From the neck down, Fang just looks contemplative. They're no longer they're holding onto the stuffed bunny that they won earlier and everything, and they're kind of disassociating / checked out. You can see their face. Yuri, you're not familiar with the societal aspect of the material plane, but you've dealt with plenty of different individuals, peoples, communities. Fang is about to have a moment of social faux pas in the way that they are extremely filled with rage, and their eyes are kind of glancing roughly in the direction of Mr. Katangan. Does Yuri do anything? Because you can see that they are what would be shaking, visibly angry, but it's all fully contained into just their kind of gaze and like jaw clenching and everything as they're kind of head down, their hair sort of masking it. But from your angle as kind of a younger person and a shorter person, you can just see their face. You don't have to do anything. I'm not.
No, I'm just thinking.
Happen.
I mean, part of my brain is just like, go to sleep. But that's probably not the best option. They just collapse.
No, that might just draw attention.
I will wrap, literally, like almost like headphones, wrap a minor illusion around their ears, and yeah, as like the sounds of like peaceful forest song starts playing around their ears, it's basically like giving them just some
Sort of
low.
audible, calm emotions, if you
Yeah,
will.
just putting like a carving little dinglet thing on them, and he's stopping at the poaching stuff for the moment. And yeah,
Fang, like this snaps them out of their like loop in their head, and Fang, she kind of looks around a little bit, and then looks at you. Looks at
give a
you.
thumbs up.
It looks at you, and then she just kind of nods and almost like gets so close to actually like smiling a bit, but it's more just an expression of appreciation, and breathes slowly. And just like listens to that to keep herself calm in this moment. As Hicks, you don't need to encourage bidding very much on this. People be bidding for this.
Oh no, Hicks doesn't want to encourage the bidding. He wants the people to notice him again.
Yeah, and
Because
so I'm not
whoever
gonna make, you
gets
did
it, he's
so
gonna go
well
and
on
have
your
a little
first roll.
chat with them.
Yeah, you did so well on your first roll. I would like, since you're kind of monitoring this and you're very invested in this, kind of brought this, like this watching up, can you please give me a D4 roll, Yama, and tell me what the number is? That will decide who gets this. All right.
Be careful.
Okay. Hicks with a 4, which is the high number. You notice while the bidding is happening and while you're pulling it up, all of the people you've been watching, the older man, the middle-aged woman, definitely bid on it. Some other people that you clocked that we haven't described, definitely bidding on it. They wait so long to even offer their first bid. Well after you've kind of aggressed into being noticeable. And the severe-looking person just bids double whatever the previous bid was. And just is like double what that bid was. And the crowd kind of pauses and everything. And Barker's like, "Ooh, 250 gold for the vial. Quite the highest price item so far. Such a generous person to bid for this and everything. Do we have another bid?" Another person bids do we have another bid? And they kind of open the floor on the other bid. Hicks, do you bid?
Oh yeah.
Over this? So
Yeah.
I assume so. They bid 250.
Like, I don't know, 300 or something.
Hicks bids 300 gold. All of you
He does
know
not
Hicks
have-
doesn't have 300 gold. No one needs to roll insight. No one.
My God.
Yeah.
To give you,
I have an idea. I have an idea to help this. Don't you worry.
Okay.
No.
Hicks doesn't have 300 gold. The severe-looking person whose eyes had passed across you, Hicks, in a way that they recognized that you were a human being standing there, looks at you for the real first time and just
Hicks
goes,
is just gonna look straight back, no expression.
straight back, the most stoic stare off that has ever existed in Southgate.
It's a don't blink competition.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where all of the background music and noise fades away and there's just silence and like the noise of the breeze in the trees, and that's it. As this moment in time stretches itself out, and then they turn and they go 500. And so now it's 500 gold. 500 gold is enough to buy you a small mansion. It is a large amount of money. No one in this group would know how much these drug normally goes for, so I'm not
I'll
going to say
bid
that.
you.
What?
Yuri's like, Hicks can't even count that high. I said, I'll put Yuri on the bidding table.
Do it.
Right,
do
so
it.
500 gold.
Do it.
Is there any other bids? Are there any other bids for this 500, wow. And there's like even mild applause from the audience because it's exciting when someone spends a shit ton of money. Like 500 gold is potentially like, it's easily well over a couple years of salary. It's probably like 4 to 6 years of most people's like salary if they're gainfully employed.
Just here, like,
I'm so tempted to get Hicks to just like hold out a hand to Yuri, and just like be like, I don't know, magic something that looks fancy in my hand so that I can carry on bidding so they believe me.
oh my god.
Okay.
What can you do? What's like 500? What's
it's
expensive?
okay. Let me think. Stop talking. What would Yuri know? What would Yuri know? Oh
Hicks
no,
would tell
this
him
is a horrible
something. He'd
idea.
hold out his hand, and then he'd be like,
No, I have a good idea.
that-
Stop talking. Let me do
okay,
it.
fine.
Yuri's gonna look stressed and do that thing where his eyes go side and side and side and side, and so he starts thinking, and he goes, yeah. And then in your hand is a pristine unicorn horn.
A pristine...
And Hicks is gonna like have been like mid like trying to describe what he
illusion,
wants.
obviously.
Yeah. No, Hicks is gonna have been like mid like give me a th, and then this horn's just gonna appear in his hand, and he's just gonna be like, okay, and he's just gonna take it and then
And
act
it
as if he's
glitters.
pulling it out his robe, and he's just gonna then hold it up, and then just be like, and like give like a little like still blank face, but like a little head tilt to the auctioneer and the
horn.
other dude.
I need. This is going to be a luck check to a degree.
Both me and Nhudrel are so stressed right now.
Yeah, I'm going to need, and you all can decide amongst yourselves. Whoever wants to roll this d20, just roll me a flat d20. Tell me what the number is.
Hex, it was your idea.
Yeah, Hex. You
gave me a unicorn horn. I was just gonna ask for something less crazy.
No. You peer pressured me.
You
didn't even let me finish. You're just like, I have an idea.
Actual peer. No, yeah, but I did. Yeah, that was it. Peer pressure, abuse, and you will be hearing from my lawyer. Please roll.
There are so few actual plays that stream anywhere where one of the major draws is the combative.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Oh my god.
See, peer pressure works. Remember, kids. Always
kids. Peer pressure.
Always pressure the little annoying midget in your class.
Yeah,
to give you
and if they
want
to do cocaine, let them do cocaine.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
Let
Please,
them
guys.
do cocaine.
And for legal reasons, depends on the country.
And this will be the last session of Healing Riffs on...
It's
been a good game, guys.
Cocaine, kids.
Not the legend blood.
Oh, God.
No.
I mean, I could always offer that. I could just like cut them up quick and then just like, I have better stuff.
I have healing word. It's fine.
It's fine. No.
No.
So we're going to. So number one, I want to complete the statement. Very few actual plays are truly engaging in a way where two of the players are so excellently good at bickering with each other as human beings. That is part of the draw, and I deeply enjoy every second of your interaction as people.
Look,
We've been practicing.
You're well trained.
I told you, I saw these two in a chat together, and I'm like, we need them in a game.
In a game.
Me and Jess, we literally did couples therapy the other day, didn't we, Jess?
Oh
yeah, we did. It Takes Two, and we were gonna get divorced, and then our child ran away, and then we made karaoke songs, and then we saved our child from a bus, and now we're married again.
And it was good practice.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, the second thing is the audience kind of quiets down, and with a nat 20, very easy, and it very quickly comes. The halfling woman, the like really accessorized, very expensively adorned halfling woman goes, "Is that a unicorn horn?" And
no, they don't exist, you stupid bat.
Suddenly they're doing that. They're doing that thing, and they're like, no, and the whole crowd and Yuri is like, they don't know what this is. They don't know what this is.
Yeah, Yuri's like, nah.
You don't know what this is. And Yuri, your suspicions are correct. A bunch of statements come out that like immediately address what's happening. The auctioneer. Sorry, I kept wanting to say Carnival Barker. The auctioneer hops down from the little like dais that he's on, and kind of walks up. Doesn't get super close to you all, but gets close enough so that he's like 20-30 feet away, so he can see it more clearly. Yes, that does look like a perfect replica of the classic artisan of the depictions of the fanciful unicorns seen in mythologies and stories all across the world. What a beautiful, even having a piece of one of those statues is rare at this point. This is 2 eras, if not 3 eras back in generations of classic artisan things. Folks, we have a bidding war. I'm no artist expert here, but that's at least 1,000 gold. Just that piece. So we are at 1,000 gold for this vial, and trading something that is accessible to perhaps a unique and never before seen piece that would be immaculate in anyone's artist collection. And yeah, it's a representation of that. As they kind of go back to their things. This is what happens when you get an at 20. Is the thing just
Oh no, but
works.
this means Hicks is gonna have me sat down at a sweatshop carving unicorn horns now to make fucking 1,000 gold per pop.
I mean, maybe.
This is how I fund the army.
This is the new campaign. Is just manufacturing child labor and capitalism.
Yeah, with cocaine.
With cocaine.
With cocaine, with a little bit of
dry eladrin blood. That's the cocaine of this campaign.
Hey, I think we defined that eladrin blood is LSD.
Yeah, no, Fang's is cocaine. So, you know.
Fang's is tribe's blood is cocaine. It's very important that what blood gives what drug effect is kept completely on point and properly recorded in this game. Nonetheless, the crowd is so excited, and Hicks,
just really quickly. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Just really quickly, while the guy is like up in those 2 faces because they're tall and stuff, they have to look up.
He's 20 foot away still.
Oh, okay. Well, while he's like addressing the group, can Yuri use that to try and? He wants to sneakily get away from his parents.
Okay.
AKA Nhudrel. Stressing him out.
Stealth away, Yuri. You can stealth at it.
Am I officially the parent of that one?
I mean, everyone is the parent of Yuri in this game.
Well, that's a 10.
I'm his husband.
Oh no, well, you know.
That's a
Yuri
10.
is Mort from Madagascar.
Yeah, I got a 10.
I don't think with a 10, I don't think it's gonna.
Yuri's still gonna try to leave even if Nhudrel notices. It will just be me. I'll have to do a text save instead.
I think the moment Yuri tries to move, like Nhudrel just like puts his arm over his shoulder and draws him to his side. Literally, like, no, you're not.
Can I do a
mother
dex
chicken
save?
away.
Oh wait, no. If that's a grapple, it's acrobatics, isn't it? First?
Yeah, Nhudrel, you can roll your athletics. Yuri, you can roll your acrobatics. Contested athletics versus acrobatics.
Oh my god, that is so.
Yeah, he's free. Mort's running loose.
Freedom!
Somebody get him.
God, fuck it. Can I chase him?
I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna chase him.
But we're gonna go over to Hicks for a little bit while you two are doing this.
I was just gonna say, well, Yuri's just gonna go he's literally gonna dive into the crowd and change forms into something else.
Yeah, it's gonna be very hard for you to keep up with Yuri because he can keep shifting. What he looks like.
I just think it's a great idea to have Nhudrel try chase this person through a crowded area with his sticks.
With his excellent dexterity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a good old fashioned Nhudrel. Give me a good old fashioned Nhudrel dex save. This is not about you catching Yuri. This is more about what it looks like when Nhudrel's chasing.
I really he just falls flat on his face.
A fucking dex save.
Too much blood. Too much blood. He's overdosing. Medic.
We'll narrate that. Hicks, I'm going to return to you for the moment. You and this severe-looking person are in almost locked combat, silently at just gaze, just eyes to eyes, as you've thrown the biggest gauntlet on the ground and been like, okay, I doubled your value as far as everyone knows. And you get the briefest satisfaction of this person breaking that kind of implacable, sort of smooth face look, and you can see the sneer developing on their face, which arguably means you just won. But now you're in a situation. You've bid 1,000, or bid something that equals 1,000 gold.
Don't worry, I've got this covered. Don't worry.
So I've also got you for this, maybe.
1,000 gold, certainly there, and you catch them look right back at the mayor, at Shemley, and they make eye contact with Shemley, and I'm gonna roll about it. I'm just gonna roll from Fang's character sheet because I've got it open, so you're all gonna see it. You all in D&D Beyond will just see it as a Fang roll. Roll D20. That's a
Oh no.
Wait, what happened?
Whatever Fang was rolling for, she got a nat 1.
Yeah, Fang didn't roll this. This is me rolling as Fang. I'm just, the character sheet is right there, so it's so convenient for me to use. But this is me rolling for actually the mayor. The mayor just sits there, considers a moment, and the auctioneer is getting to that going once, going twice, and right before they say going a third time, the mayor nods, but not before the severe-looking person can have their bid. And you hear sold from the auctioneer as your unicorn horn, which is fake. It's not even a real fake unicorn horn. It's a fake unicorn horn. Fake unicorn horn.
That's amazing.
Wins the auction for the, again, fake vial of blood that you all know has no actual compounds of Fang's tribal ancestry. And they're like, sold to the handsome looking person right there, gesturing to Hicks. Thank you so much for this. And Hicks, you've been to enough auctions that you know that usually the money and everything is exchanged at the end of the auction. Yeah. And so you've claimed it, the crowd applauds and everything. But they're distracted in their applauding because some of them keep getting bumped into, rustled. One of them got just straight up knocked down by a blue man that is just sort of crawling through, stepping in. There's like a picnic blanket laid out, and you just step on it accidentally. You weren't trying to, but you're trying to find Yuri as you catch brief glimpses of someone moving away. You never really get a good bead on being able to get in front of or to be able to contain Yuri, but would I be right in imagining that Yuri, as they notice Nhudrel just like failing to navigate the crowd, kind of dangles himself a little bit on a stick out in front to be like, come on.
I would no, Raymond, because Yuri has plans and things to do.
Okay.
So
you disappear eventually.
Yeah, he is now as near as possible to the stage as a busty milkmaid.
Oh my god.
Classic busty milkmaid.
I just want to say, Nhudrel during this whole time, she's like, Yuri.
Yeah, Yuri's gone.
Have you seen my? I don't know what I don't know what he looks like, but here.
Ward.
Yuri. Just like, where the fuck is he?
Yeah, and like he's like very calm now, very just like listening to the auction as near as possible to the stage and the items, and just watching.
Okay, so you've tucked in. You're watching you just look like a random run-of-the-mill NPC busty barmaid. From a game in the mid 2000s.
Hits will never go out of fashion.
Nope. Nope.
Quote me on that, kids. You know, that's why I don't have a Twitch.
Why I don't have a Twitch.
I don't have a Twitch, so I can go ruin my friends.
Hey, no,
Yeah.
it's everyone like a titty joke's fine. It's an 18 audience. They can't
I'm
handle
playing
a titty,
with
they
you.
can
I'm
grow up.
playing with you. Titty joke away. You have my full permission.
Good,
joke
and I
away.
will. I'm gonna really milk them.
I hate you so much.
Oh man!
I
the
immediately
milk
have
them,
regrets.
The milk them. Oh,
Oh,
Ban him.
Take
sorry.
it back.
Ban Sam.
That's
take it
utterly
back.
awful.
you know what? I hate myself for this. I hate myself for this.
Oh no.
But with you both introducing the joke and doing it, mark yourself an inspiration, Yuri. You have an
Yeah, I got
inspiration.
titty inspiration.
Yep, I have to
Badoing,
reward
badoing.
how groaning that was. It was
The
just too good.
badoing inspo. Love it.
Nonetheless, the auction kind of continues on. Different people are continuing to bid on things. Nobody exits except for the mayor and the guards. They exit. The mayor seems very grumpy about things. More importantly, Mr. Katangan is also in the mix, and you also see that bounty hunter looking fellow that is Mr. Katangan kind of lingers around, showing a bit of interest in you, Hicks, because you produced a unique and rare and hard to find item in order to obtain the thing that the Katangan family donated. So very curious about what that could be, and how that might be playing out. Otherwise, various items pass through. We get to Nhudrel as you've given up probably after several minutes. 10, 20 minutes have passed by. You've lost Yuri. You don't know who in this crowd is Yuri anymore.
I just go back to Hicks.
I've
Looking-
lost the child.
Baby.
I've lost the child. He
I've
slumps
lost
back
our son
towards
in the mall.
Hicks.
Our son is
It's
somewhere
like
in this mall.
Yuri's Grogu, and then Nhudrel is Mandalorian. Come, child, let's go. Come, little green boy.
Hicks is that weird little battle droid from
Oh my
whatever
gosh.
that tall, lanky murder battle droid bounty hunter was.
I want to be what's his face, General Grievous.
You can be General Grievous, sure. That's a horrifying desire to be that, but sure.
Why? It's cool. I get like 4 lightsabers.
You do get 4 lightsabers and a breathing.
None of these words mean anything to me.
Well, you're just lame, so it doesn't matter.
I know.
You're like, I'm aware not knowing Star Wars things is
Sam
my
hasn't
fault.
even watched Treasure Planet. Mhm.
What?
Oh,
I've not
Yeah.
watched. I
fucking
didn't watch
burn.
movies growing up. I was outside like a normal kid.
Wait, you
a
haven't
normal
seen
kid
Animal
from
Planet?
the 1950s.
Animal
Like-
Planet. No, I've seen Animal
Treasure
Planet.
Treasure Planet.
No, I've seen lots of Animal Planet, so I am fine. I think.
Were you one of those? Because my spouse was homeschooled. Were you one of those kids who had just had limited access to TV and film? Because
Did you just say I was homeschooled? No.
no, my
No.
spouse was homeschooled, and
Okay.
they were homeschooled by the kind of family that's like, you get a half hour of TV each day, and it better be educational and stuff. So
Well-
they had to like go back and like make up all of the cultural points that they had missed amongst
Kind
their
of.
peers.
But also, I was just an ADHD kid. I couldn't sit around to watch TV. I wanted to be outside. I didn't really want to be indoors.
People who
How
want to
dare
be
you.
outside exist?
Yep,
What?
they do.
Yeah, no, I
Jesus Christ.
I was told that the sun would kill me, and I believed it. And so therefore, I'm an indoor kid. But nonetheless, Nhudrel, you maybe finally give in on this as a book comes up for auction. The auctioneer. I don't know why I always want to just jump to Carnival Barker. The auctioneer is like, It's like, oh, and again from the civil treasury of Southgate, we have a wonderful and interesting little tidbit of something that will not only enrich your or enrich your own personal wealth, but also enrich the mind. Mysteries abound, and scripts and scripts and ledgers and journals, all in one simple, massive tome. And what is brought out, so when you see a book at a or like a book where you look at the binding of the book and you immediately think this should have been several editions, not one massive edition that's going to crease the shit out of its spine because it is too many pages in one big giant book spine. So a lot of dictionaries can be in this place, but like other things of that like bigger massive tome. This box of a book, probably about, I want to make sure I'm doing this about right, probably about 8 inches, which I don't know how many centimeters that is, but 8 inches, 2 hands tall on their side, so about this tall, with a binding that looks older than time and ruined with age and not well taken care of, and a cover that looks unreadable at this point. Stained exterior pages, just truly the oldest and well-traveled kind of book comes out of there. Nhudrel, please feel free to make a investigation, arcana, insight, or perception check on that book. Any of those 4. Whatever you choose, whatever's better for you.
16.
16. That's a supernatural book. That book, that
Magic.
definitely is not a book for like normies. That is a book with deep and meaningful, that is some, basically in Nhudrel's mind, that looks like some wizard shit.
Right, Yuri, we need another unicorn.
That's okay. I'll get you the book. I've got plans.
Hicks, you just hear Nhudrel like suck in like a very excited breath, like,
oh my god, a book!
A book.
And Yuri notices that and he's like, I'm gonna get my dad a book.
Well, Yuri's not there. But to be fair, would Yuri, because I'm up close to stage, can I see the magic book?
Yeah, you can do perception, insight, arcana, or investigate check with advantage because you're right there on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, Nhudrel's doing like the happy, excited stim, like at the sight of this book. Like he's like,
that's a 22.
Ooh.
Yuri, your homeland only really ever takes note of notable mortals, right? Like the average everyday mortal, nothing. Gone. as gone in a second as they were here in a second, right? Lives too short, time too linear. Too linear. Nonetheless, all of that stuff gone. But there are some examples of in the histories, some notable people that came from the material plane that elevated themselves sort of above the rest, whether it be for infamous or just famous mentality, people that seem to have a greater access to things. You're clocking a lot of like this. It's not that it shouldn't be here. It's definitely of the material world. But this is probably like your illusion mask is nice. Your self-disguise mask is nice. Some of the magic items that you've seen, like the socks and stuff like that, those have been quaint, if not underwhelming and cute. Tricks more than anything. Party tricks. This actually seems like it has meaning. Not so much in that it seems like it's sitting with. It's almost like you're aware that it's like, oh, this is the kind of ancient stuff that wouldn't be in this level of disrepair, but this is like more on par with what you might find in a library. Not necessarily the same sorts of powers but the level of interest and uniqueness. It almost shines with like the weight of its sole individualisticness in this world. It is a wholly unique, well cared for, definitely brimming with arcane energy, but not like in the fashion of there's a curse on it or there's like a ward on it. In the thing that it's like it supersedes that of normalcy. And I think Yuri, very specifically, you're more attuned to almost the strings of connection and importance of things in a more meaningful, like worldly manner that's almost esoteric rather than it would be there. So in the same way that like someone might dismiss any given sword as being the same as other swords, some swords have been wielded that changed history, and Yuri might have a better idea of being able to how to almost instinctually see that than say other people. So yeah, you see this. This is a very valuable item. Too valuable to be at this auction. This makes the blood look like nothing. It makes your unicorn horn, even if it was a real fake unicorn horn, look like nothing.
So it's a fancy book that probably yep. Okay, got it. Okay, I'm gonna plot. You guys continue. I'm gonna plot things.
All right, bidding starts for the book. Starts at a almost disrespectful 5 silver. 5 silver, 10, someone's 8 silver, another person's 1 gold.
I'm going to do that thing. If they do 1 gold, I'm going to go 1 gold, 10 silver. And I'm going to bid in a weird woman's voice, which I am not going to attempt to do because it will be bad.
Okay.
It's
you
just
bid...
like, 1 gold and 10 silver. 2
You
gold
bid a little bit
and
more.
10
Why am I a
silver.
wicked witch?
You said weird woman voice, so...
Yeah, but I more meant like the high pitch, like.
What, like the
You're
Valley
not going to
Devil?
go full
Okay.
Monty Python femme voice? Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty much what. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Monty Python has truly ruined my ability to impersonate femme voices for the entirety of my lives. Yeah. So you bid almost relatively quickly. Someone outbids Yuri, barmaid, for the rest of you. What are Nhudrel and Hicks doing about this bidding?
I think the moment.
Well, I mean, they
passes...
don't know that it's Yuri, so Hicks is. Hicks
Well,
doesn't
not
know where
about
Yuri
Yuri,
is, and he's.
But just
I'm gonna
Hicks
lose
knows
all
that
my
this is
gold.
important to Nhudrel. Like you caught that breathe in and kind of clocked that Nhudrel was very interested in this book. And then Nhudrel, what are you doing?
The moment it passes 10 gold, he has 15, but 5 he doesn't consider as his gold.
Wait, we've only got to like a gold, yeah, a gold silver.
Golden. So no, it's escalating.
Yeah.
However, I will have since you're the one who put out the first bid of the party on it, give me a D20 on that one, Yuri. Give me a D20 on that.
Yeah.
Let Hicks do the bidding and just give him more shit that he can lie with.
Okay. Well, that's a 5.
Yeah, I told you, just
Fine.
let Hicks do it. Come up to Hicks and be like, I want the book.
Unlucky. The bidding is escalating in the way that it escalates anytime multiple people show interest in a thing. A lot of people don't know what this is, but obviously other people think it's important. The halfling woman that's very wealthy doesn't seem to care about it. The older man has bid into it. He jumped the bid a couple times and everything to
A horrible idea. Sorry, turn on.
I love a good horrible idea. The severe-looking man, the severe-looking person. Yeah, the severe-looking person is the person that puts it over 10 gold. It's now 12 gold.
The moment it goes past 10 gold, Nhudrel's gonna look into his little bag of gold and look extremely sad. He's got 15 gold in there, but 5 of it he considers is not his. He considers him keeping it for Yuri.
Oh yeah, you have my gold. Shit.
Yep. Nhudrel has tried
I'm bidding
to
with
give
no
this
money then.
back.
That's really funny. I forgot
Hicks
that.
has bid 1,000 gold that he does not have. He's got a fake unicorn horn in his
That's
hand.
fine.
Book's bidding is going higher. It's moving.
How
Yuri.
high is it?
It's currently only at 12. It will continue moving out, but right now it's the severe-looking person that most recently bid 12 gold on it. The person you beat with a unicorn.
Well, I think if Hicks can Hicks see that Nhudrel is interested in it?
Yes, I don't think that's even remotely hidden.
Then he would. I guess Hicks would walk. Because I'm guessing they were probably like all at the back to begin with, and that's where Hicks still is. So he would then kind of like walk forward, not so that he was next to Nhudrel, but more so that he was closer to the funny man, the man that he's bid against before.
Yeah.
And without even looking at the man, like he's probably like still like a person behind that man, but like still next to him, something. Without even looking at him, Hicks would just kind of like put up his hand to get a bid in.
All right.
He's just gonna rely on Yuri to come up with something else, I guess.
You get a bid in. The severe person looks back, catches that it's you. You are now in a bidding war with the severe person. You beat them
Yuri, I need your help.
You beat them over.
Hold
Ready.
I'm gonna. Can I start? Okay, I don't know how long it would take me, but can I start moving to be near the severe man?
Yeah, absolutely. You can. You can just be there. I'm fine with time being enough amorphous as you notice this coming in.
Okay.
Well, Hicks and severe man, a person.
As soon as Hicks does a bid, Yuri is gonna just lean down behind him, and I will try and do it as fast as possible. Just whisper in his ear, forfeit, and do a command.
Do command. Oh, I gotta roll save against that, don't I? All right. What
and
is
that's
the
15.
15. All right. You're gonna see it come off Fang's seat as a nat 20. It only has, because these are low level. This is a low level area, so they only get a +1 to their save. So I have to roll a 14 or higher. Let's find out.
No, that's racist.
That's racist.
I'll punch him in the head.
Oh my
No,
god.
I won't. Yuri would then very quickly back away into the audience and change into a different disguise.
He looks around trying to figure out who whispered that to him. Looks back.
But is that a good enough distraction?
Hicks. Let's do a
what
roll a d20. Let's see if the luck check works. If that distracted him enough while the bidding went to Hicks and was being called for more bid. 2. No. Escalates. We are now currently at 25 gold.
How much gold do we even have as a party? Because I don't have my gold. So.
No, like, we're not actually gonna pay. Like Hicks is gonna kind of like hope that Yuri is nearby, because he obviously doesn't know where he's gone or what he's doing.
Yeah.
So while he's standing there, and he's gonna keep each time that guy bids, he's gonna bid him up. But behind, he's gonna have his other hand like behind his back with his hand open, just in case Yuri walks past.
To be like, give me another thing.
Give me something.
The bidding.
But he has no idea where Yuri is.
All right, Yuri, roll either a perception or an insight check to kind of catch on that Hicks is trying to silently communicate. Do the thing we just did, like several minutes ago.
Was that an insight or perception? Because I
either whatever one you prefer. Either one.
Well, I got a 7, so
it won't matter. It takes a while. Certainly. The bidding for this book has gotten ridiculous. The crowd is fully aware that this is a versus match between Hicks and this severe person.
Hicks has injured this man's pride.
Yeah, and so we're up to about, I'd say, since it was a 7, let's just add a 0 to that. We're up to 70 gold now on this book, because it is just a book, as far as most of the crowd can see, and it's not really clear if the severe person knows the same weight that Nhudrel knows, certainly in the same weight that Yuri knows. About this. or if it's just the severe person that's like Hicks is bidding for it, they don't want that to happen. They don't want them to win it. And everything. It's up to 70 gold, but around this time, Yuri, you see Hicks's sort of open hand, maybe even like lightly flexing, being like, "Give me a thing," and everything.
Me thing, please. Give. Just the idea of Hicks with his hand behind his back, just like grasping, just like.
I'm not gonna lie, I have the overwhelming urge just to high five Hicks and keep going.
I mean, you're welcome to.
No. The issue is I'm trying to keep.
I mean, you could high five Hicks, and then Hicks is just gonna be like inwardly screaming, and then just leave his hand there and hope that the stupid idiot catches on to what he actually wants.
I don't think Yuri knows what a high five is. I'm trying to think. What else would be something that Yuri would know is valuable? Because Yuri's definition of valuable is probably very different.
It's very different. The first one was good. You can always luck check yourself about it if you want to be.
Just give me like 2 seconds.
Or wisdom save.
Oh no, that's a bad idea. That's a funny idea.
I think you should do it.
I need to. One sec.
I think you should. I think you should think about that. Like it's just. I think.
The worse the idea, the better.
Well, there's sometimes doing symbolic things that is a bad idea. No, do you know what?
Oh gosh.
Yuri. So he's gonna summon a diamond into your hand, like a really special pitch black diamond that is a replica of the diamond that cursed the unseelie queen. It is the night diamond.
I could not hear what you were saying. All I heard was
you have got in your hand a replica of the night diamond, what basically made the unseelie queen.
Oh.
It's like there was a diamond that basically, because that's the only fucking diamond I could think of that came to my head.
Yep.
It's a pitch black, like, perfectly void black diamond.
Yep.
Void the only kind of diamond granite.
Oh my god.
It's obviously a precious stone, at the very least. When you feel
it totally looks a bit shadowy as well, just to, because that's what came to Yuri's mind when he made it. So it's very.
Oh my word.
I'm gonna roll for the crowd on the diamond.
This is when Hicks is like, ooh.
I have a question. Would Nhudrel know what that is? Or what it was supposed to be?
No.
I don't think
no way Nhudrel would know that.
Also,
I don't think anyone would.
No one, even the closest person beside Yuri that even might potentially know that definitely doesn't know that on site, certainly.
Okay.
And so
oh my god.
So for Yuri, this is a very this is reckless. Like in a moment of panic, this is something I know, and it seems so reckless. For anyone looking at it, it looks like kind of like a cloudy, dark kind of void diamond. It looks like a precious gem of a type, and then that's it. And everything. So it's so much weight for Yuri, and especially with me rolling a 4. It definitely looks expensive. It definitely looks like it's 250 gold. Or so, whatever diamond, at least equivalent to diamond dust in D&D, without knowing the exact qualities or facets of the diamond. And so does Hicks then, after you look at it in your hand, do you just do the same sort of lift up to bid?
Yeah, I mean, he'd probably look at it for a little bit longer than he looked at the unicorn horn and just
Strange.
If he had facial expressions, it would be like, nice one. But he doesn't have facial expressions, but that's what he's thinking.
Nhudrel has a facial expression.
He'd do the little smug not bad, but he doesn't have that.
If Nhudrel has facial expressions, so when he sees that, he's just gonna be like, "The fuck did you get that from?" His face is like,
"What a pretty nice diamond."
Yeah, and then Hicks will just hold it up above his head again.
This is when Hicks turns around and says, "I do."
It's cursed. No,
it's
no one knows anything about this, about the origin of what inspired this replica, and everything. And it seems perhaps we have an art dealer or a oddities dealer of some sort in the midst. The gentleman with the unicorn horn now proffers a diamond, and he kind of like doesn't even get off the dais.
It's funny because the unicorn horn is now gone because I can't do
Yeah, they don't know that.
They don't know that. That's fine.
And it's like
Nick sort of like put it, quote unquote, like in his robe. Anyway,
250 gold. That's what I would surmise at the very least that's worth. If anyone wants to challenge that bid, and the auctioneer looks.
God, these people are awful.
Yeah, the
revivify with that.
The auctioneer looks directly at the severe person. If anybody wants to try and outbid that, and the severe person, like, he doesn't make the movement, he doesn't do any of the thing, but if just in the eyes, maybe only Hicks sees this, you can imagine the physical eye glance representation of someone throwing down their hat and being like drat, and then just like stepping on it and then storming off. God. He doesn't move, he doesn't do anything, he just stands there and just remains silent.
I go take his hat.
I love that these two stoic people are like, oh, I can read the nuances of that.
Yeah, all that's happening in a glance. Physically, the severe person is just standing there and admits defeat a second time by just looking away and looking off in the distance, into the middle distance, not at the auction, not at Hicks, not at anyone else. No physical other change other than their glance loses. And Hicks, in this moment, you know you've bested this person twicely so. In perhaps the most severe of combat that could possibly happen. And sold. Sold. The book is yours. The City of Southgate thanks you. Remember, folks, some of the proceeds of this auction, or a percentage of the proceeds of this auction, will, of course, go to help our friends outside of the walls as we help properly locate them around the Kingdom of the Drain. And I think all of you, certainly at least Hicks and Nhudrel, you clock that they just say percentage of the sales of this, not like all of it.
There is a distinct like scoff coming from Nhudrel. Like,
we just scammed a charity though. We can't really act like we're as good either.
Listen,
I had announced that at the beginning of
Nhudrel isn't aware. Nhudrel isn't aware that what of Yuri and Hicks doing. He's very confused as to where the fuck Hicks is just coming up with these things.
Yeah, Nhudrel just thinks that Hicks had a unicorn horn sculpture horn it's and very, a diamond on hand.
It's very much like
Fang
Nhudrel...
is gonna come back next session, and none of us can return to the city. And I hope you.
Like Nhudrel's literally just looking at Hicks like up and down, going, "Where the fuck have you been hiding these things? Like what?
Where are you pulling them from?"
Yeah.
You don't want to know with that horn.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's the shade.
Well, that came from Yuri,
right
so.
I mean,
leave my horn alone.
Friends share. Friends share. The auction continues. It peters itself out, finishes up and wraps up with no other items of significant note. You see a number of the people begin to kind of a congress around the sort of like table and just kind of outside of the little like impromptu shed that had been built to house these items. They're going there to exchange what they paid for them and then take their items home and everything. But it's not like a rush or like a very formal line. A member of the people that Hicks was clocking earlier are in this, including, even though he didn't seem to win anything, including even though they didn't seem to win anything, the very severe person. That's just sort of like lingering on the outskirts, not really engaging with anyone. But definitely the wealthy halfling, definitely the older gentleman, some other people, and Mr. Katangan, the bounty hunter looking fellow. Also, probably almost immediately upon the finish of the auction, as this kind of gathers, starts walking up to approach your group.
Katangan? Approaching us?
Nhudrel.
Yuri's gone again. Yuri is off.
Yeah, Yuri disappeared somewhere. Yuri never really got fully caught again, even when he started helping.
Yeah, Yuri's in another form now anyway. Yuri will just be positioned by the shed, and he is going to wait for someone to pick up the vial of blood. And like, I don't mind waiting for a while, but that's what Yuri's doing.
Okay. But yeah. Fang silently, still kind of quietly listening to the kind of peace encouraging music, and just sort of fidgeting with their stuffed bunny. You hear muffled from their side hip the voice of their very finely crafted wooden short sword saying, "Asshole's coming," as the guy kind of approaches. It's quiet and muffled. And this kind of 5 o'clock shadowed sort of 5 o'clock shadow along the jaw and the beard, but like kind of a thicker mustache, spectacles, sort of like a brimmed, almost like cowboy-esque hat, somewhere between a cowboy hat and like an Australian kind of outback hat. Again, leather duster, canvas work pants, various equipment on his belt, comes up and is like, that was a fine bit of bidding for some of the spoils. Certainly the blood. I hope you enjoy the product. It took quite a bit of effort to get it there. Willis Contangan. Pleasure to meet you. And holds out his hand, which is in like kind of leather gloves. Holds out like almost like leather. Yeah, just like kind of like a leather gloves, and it's like, Willis Contangan, happy to meet you.
Is he doing that to Hicks?
And he puts his hand out to Hicks. He's kind of addressing Hicks and Nhudrel.
Oh, okay.
Fang's kind of stepped off in the distance here a little bit, so it's Hicks and Nhudrel. He sees you as being kind of together in some fashion, socially.
Well, Hicks wouldn't take his hand. Like, he would just kind of, like when you just look at the hand offered to you, but don't take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he would. He'd then look back up at the what's his name? Willis. Yeah, and then just say, "I would like to verify the contents of your vial before I pay."
Oh, of course. An absolutely reasonable request. We all must verify the contents of anything we come into purchase on. I didn't have to verify it because I drew it out of the body itself, but more than happy to let you inspect it.
Did you do it personally?
Oh, of course. Well, I guess you were I haven't noticed you around here. Admittedly, I've been gone for the last several months, but came back just a couple days ago. But mostly been in the house, resting, relaxing from my travels. And he moves his hand, which is still held out hand to his shake, over to Nhudrel. Nhudrel, this man just admitted that he is the man that has drawn blood from Fang's home tribe, and is looking for a handshake.
His hand off.
His hand off.
He's gonna put his hands deep into his pockets.
Ooh.
He is nope. He has a deception of -1. There, like his face is not very happy.
One would think after winning such wild bids that you'd all be a happier duo. He puts his hand down and just sort of shrugs it off almost.
Wait, sorry. Does the man think that we're together?
He thinks that you know each other.
Oh, okay.
That you're like part of a group of people that are familiar with each other.
Okay.
And is like, but I understand losing valuable items, even in obtaining valuable items, can certainly be a challenge. So yeah, let's go over to the auctioneer's table. We'll verify it. I can do whatever you like. to verify it, or I can tell you exactly where I got it from if that's what you'd prefer. Whatever you like.
There's no need to tell us exactly where you got it from. I'm sure we can work that out. But I would like to verify the contents, to make sure you're not lying about what you are selling at the auction.
Ooh, if you were a local, I'd take offense at that. But you don't know me from Peter, so I understand. He just sort of hangs out. It's like, I didn't catch either of your names. Again, Willis.
Nhudrel's just gonna real flatly go. That would be because I never gave it.
Oh, I wish Yuri was there.
Yuri's like, the drama.
Yuri's in a shed right now. Oh, well, outside the shed.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna fuck around a little bit, but we'll get back to you. Does Hicks give his name?
Yes, just because Yuri.
You dig! I'm coming for you.
Yuri, pleasure to meet you.
Can I hear this? Can I do a
No, you decided that you were away from the group.
Oh my god, if Yuri finds out you are actually dead, you thought you were going to stab me tonight. It's the other way around, my friend.
Nhudrel's face is shocked. He's like...
Pleasure to meet you, Yuri. It's certainly a person, a different kind of hunting, but a person that can find rare gems and rare pieces of art I feel like a man at arms, a fellow man at arms. Well, and discovering the riches of the previous eras and what they have to offer, and the current era. This person makes irritating small talk while you're all waiting to go there. Well, that's happening. Yuri, what are you up to?
Has anyone picked up the file yet?
Yeah,
or the book?
Someone's picked up.
Yeah, as soon as they're carrying the file, Yuri will just go careful not to drop it, and as he says drop, command.
All right, this is on a regular commander, so they have a -1 to command.
Oh my gosh.
This isn't a named NPC, so they get normal stats. That's still a 16.
Wow.
That's rude. I'm just pondering kicking him in the thigh.
You watch them drop it a little bit, and then they catch it with the other hand, and they breathe. They're like, and they hold it.
You're just like annoyed at this point.
What did you roll? I didn't see you roll.
I rolled a 17, -1 is a 16. Still beats.
Okay, what about the book?
Okay,
Where's the book?
Book's being picked up by another person.
Panic. Something they can do. Just feel it. No, I shouldn't kill a commoner.
No, let's not do that. We're already in trouble. We already swindled the charity auction.
I deliberately didn't mention the charity part of it, so that you would do whatever you wanted until after.
We still would have. It's fine.
You would have, but I wanted to make it fully open, where it's like, oh, fuck this auction. And also, again, a percentage.
Charity, but they're selling bad goods, so technically,
a percentage of the sales are going to charity. They didn't say what percentage. And
0.2%.
Yeah, it's like, oh look, we got you Dasani waters. That's it. Continue living in insecurity.
Okay, well, while Yuri's do you want to still think on it? Because then Hicks can talk to the girl about the vial, if you're still thinking on it.
Is there anything else in the shed?
Bits and bobs, right? Like items that went up for auction, clothes, statuary, baubles, and things like that.
Is there is there any candles or anything?
You know what? Sure. I'll give you the dice have been unkind to you, so I'll give you
As soon as the book is out, Yuri is just going to use Druidcraft, which can light flames.
Yep.
And he's just gonna knock over the candle, light the flame, and just walk off and look furious. And he's grumpy, and this is Yuri having a sulk.
It's such a reckless way to.
Yuri has just said that thing where he's a cat and he just swats over a candle and just walks out, and yeah,
Oh my
just
god.
letting the rest burn.
Okay. So that fire's beginning to catch. Well, Yuri walks out.
But the
having
book's
done
out. But just making sure.
The book's fake. I assume you wanted to cause a fire in bitterness, not to ruin the book that Nhudrel obviously.
Yeah, just ruin everything else once the book's out.
Yeah. So well, that's beginning. Back over the failed attempt to get the vial to drop failed, and the auctioneer is sort of discussing with some other people, but one of the assistants that have been working there brings out the vial as Hicks, Nhudrel, and Willis are now at the table, and it's on a little cloth. Everything, and Willis is like, "How would you like me to authenticate the materials?"
I would like to
drink it.
I would like to test the blood.
Test the blood? That's more than fine. You bought it. And again, auctioneer distracted. You haven't actually paid anyone for this. Normal common person sees the person that donated it approving it, and that's enough and everything. And so Willis picks up the vial, unscrews the little top. It's a pretty big vial. It's a handful. It's a significant amount of blood. Significant enough. And everything. And it's
I'd say, can Hicks snatch it from him when he opens it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he'd snatch it and then pretend to sniff it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd just lower it and then just look at Willis and just say, "This is fake."
And I can't have you roll deception because it is fake.
Yep.
It is. You are just saying it's fake.
This
Willis looks almost confused. I can assure you, it's not fake. I put to death, or I drew the blood myself as I was putting to death the creature I took it from. It is quite actually real.
And you know the tastes of these different bloods?
Of course,
to
I
me,
know the
this
tastes
smells
of the
like
bloods.
ox blood or lamb blood. What was it? Lamb blood.
Ox blood is fine. It was
Okay.
just animal blood. You went to a butcher
Animal.
shop.
Okay, well now it's ox.
So it's ox blood.
Yeah.
Ox blood. And he goes, "May I?"
Hicks gives it to him.
Grabs the vial, smells it, gives an extremely suspicious look, and then goes to, and then literally just dips a pinky into the tip of the vial and just gums the blood like you would. Takes the pinky and gums the blood on it, and then sits there and waits for a few beats, and is like, "This is ox blood. This is ox blood." And
as he says that, Hicks is just gonna turn to the auctioneer, and then just call him auctioneer to get his attention.
Auctioneer
and then,
apologizes to whoever he's talking to, and then comes over.
"This Willis Katanga, he's sold me a fake." And now Hicks is speaking that little bit louder so that other people can hear.
Oh.
So he's not doing his normal calm, quiet. Well, not quiet, but calm, monotone voice. He's a little bit louder so that the people around can hear.
Slightly elevated monotone.
Yeah, a slightly elevated monotone.
Just projecting.
This man has given me a fake blood. This is ox blood. Your Katanga patron is a liar.
I can assure you I'm not a liar. And you watch him screw the top of the vial and put it down on the little blanket. And then Willis grabs the auctioneer by the vest and grabs the auctioneer by the vest.
We're gonna get this.
What did you do with blood
gonna get
that I donated you? And he's just like nose to nose with this auctioneer and everything. I gave you good hard earned blood I could have died getting, and that's ox blood in there. So what did you and your little team do to this? And now the audience is noticing this. You had set up this lie so perfectly by happenstance almost, because you just wanted the real blood to not even be in play, but now it's the fruition of the plan in my mind is kind of coming forward. And you weren't lying to Willis. It was.
But this was Hicks's plan the whole time.
And if this was Hicks's plan
was to get the fake vial and then take the piss out of the Katanga person.
And everything. And you immediately begin to hear murmurs of it's like, did Willis give someone fake blood? Go on.
Just a quick question. Is this making a scene, would you say?
It is beginning to make a scene, yes.
Who is currently carrying the book?
So one of the other little helper commoners has the book in their hands. They're holding it with kind of both. It's a weighty book, so they're just kind of holding it. So you're gonna do anything?
Can you tell me when the scenes got big? If you continue, and then when things are pretty
when things start really popping off.
Yeah.
So people are whispering about it. What are Nhudrel and Hicks doing as this is escalating between Willis and the auctioneer, and the crowd is beginning to notice this, and more importantly, you begin to hear the crowd conversation around this happening. The apparent scenario of it's did Willis Katangan donate fake blood, saying that he had hard fought for it? Because it's pretty rare. Nhudrel would know this. It's not super common. It's not unheard of, but this isn't in the way that this is unlike regular drugs. This is not filling the streets an easy product to get a hold of. Mm-hmm. This should be a challenge. Mm-hmm. So it's and everything, and so it is hard to come by. So, Nhudrel and Hicks, what are your reaction as this is kind of escalating in front of you?
Where's Fang? Is she
Fang
back kind of thing, or?
Fang is still standing back, kind of where you were, fully letting herself be distracted by Yuri's music, because Fang is absolutely struggling with their rage right now, and is, even though they don't come across as very bright, is well aware of a social situation of just popping off and killing a random person in a crowd of people in the middle of the day.
So then Hicks would turn to Nhudrel and just be like, well, that's one problem sorted for now. Where's the book? And he's looking to Nhudrel as if Nhudrel could, I don't know, see where the book is. Because now Yuri and Hicks and Nhudrel are going to go for the book.
I'm going to say that, with Hicks and Nhudrel a little bit focused on the book, shouting is happening between Willis and the auctioneer, and then smoke starts happening in the shack. Shack. The crowd says this. I would say now, Yuri, it's a very distracted, popping off situation if you want to pull your trigger on that.
Right. Also, just before Yuri does anything, Hicks would have said, this is also before the smoke started, sorry, I forgot. Yeah. He would just say to the auctioneer and to Katanga that he doesn't want the vial anymore, and that he's not going to pay for something that's fake, and then he's just going to leave. Okay. Yeah. And then he would ask Nhudrel, okay, where's the book?
You're starting to buy the book.
Nhudrel is a little bit more
concerned
with Fang at the moment, so he's just going to nod and just take Fang by the hand and be like, let us go see where the book is, because he knows exactly, he was there for the blood swapping, so he was he kind of knew this was gonna happen, but he was still we're probably gonna get that auctioneer killed, just doesn't know how he feels.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen, if any of you have experience with Americans abroad who feel like they've been instantly disrespected and go from like a 0 to a 10.
Oh yeah.
That's Willis kind of at this moment with the auctioneer, where it's like you are popping off way hot about something that obviously the auctioneer is also confused about. But they're not hearing it right now. By the way, almost all my villains will be very much based on American stereotypes. I just need you to know that. It's a part of self-hate catharsis that I exist in this world.
Hey, Yuri, go do your thing.
Yuri.
Okay, as there's like a fire going on, where is the bookman stood? Alright, I need an idea.
Bookman is stood basically kind of off to the side of sort of like the display table where they're like queuing up things. They are not amongst the crowd. There's sort of like an implied barrier, if you will, of the table, but no one's really paying attention that much to anything that's going on back there because there's a cool fight that's about to break out, and that's exciting. There's smoke and there's fire. That's exciting. And everything.
Yuri, because it's really busy. Yuri, in one of his many disguises, is just gonna grumpily storm up to this person. He's gonna he's gonna put out his hands, and he's gonna use command again and go, give.
All right.
God.
All right. I'm gonna roll for it. I'm gonna give it. The dice are still in charge, but I am going to give it a little bit lower or more of a penalty because now this is a confused person. So instead of the -1 stat, I'm going to bring them all the way down to like a -3. So I really have to roll well for this to not work because this person is confused and now there's a fire happening and there's a fight breaking out and they're not like, this isn't their job. They just
They're just here for the day.
They're here for the day.
I work here.
So the dice really don't want this to happen. Oh, beautiful. That's
Yeah.
exactly what the dice should have. So the guy, he's just like, yeah, you know what to do with this. And
Yeah,
Yuri the book.
And then Yuri's just gonna go, thanks. And then he's gonna see like the whole kerfuffle of the others. And
For
he's
chat,
just gonna.
that was a nat 1.
Oh yeah, for chat that was a nat 1.
Yeah. And then Yuri will he will literally just kind of go, and whenever it looks over the fire, he's just gonna run away and he will teleport up onto one of the roofs.
Oh my God.
I would say that all of you see, like that Hicks and maybe Nhudrel and Fang see as well. The three of you see. You go to look for where the book is. You see suddenly the book being handed to some random stranger from the common person, from the assistant and everything being handed to a random stranger, which is a little bit concerning, but you don't know who's volunteering or who's helping out here and everything like that. And then that random stranger like moves quickly away from the fire and then teleports. And so now you know who that is. You know that Yuri has the book.
It's like, oh hey,
But he would
Yuri
still
could
point
do
out the
that.
fire to everyone else.
And yeah, out at the fire. Immediately, the townspeople start dismissing. This distracts a little bit from the escalating between Willis and the auctioneer. And Willis sort of releases the auctioneer's vest and is like, now you're gonna ruin all the other items that have been donated. Deal with it. And he kind of begins looking around. Do Nhudrel, Hicks, and Fang make haste to get away from Willis in this situation?
Why? Does it look like Willis is trying to find us?
He's not like trying to capture you, but like he was distracted, and you know that Willis is the way he is, and also like none of you have reason to like him. But like I think you would know that if he lays eyes on you all again, he's going to.
Oh fuck yeah! Okay.
Oh.
Hicks is gonna go as Willis is like starting to like go crazy, scream, crazy road rage American at the auctioneer and everyone else.
You know who my father is?
No.
Exactly that.
Oh
Hicks is just gonna kind of walk up behind him, and just with like I don't know how tall this man is, but
He's shorter
just,
than Hicks.
Okay, well he'd just stand there behind him and just say, in like a very like, I don't know, in his usual like Hicks voice, but maybe like in a little bit more intimidating in a way, I guess. Maybe he would have like also like look down at him, like when someone's literally looking down at you.
Yeah.
He'd do that and then just say, "You lied to me, you lied to the auctioneer, and now you're causing a fuss. You should keep quiet and make your business somewhere else, and never come back."
Ooh.
And then when he's finished that, he's just gonna look at the auctioneer, make sure the auctioneer's still okay, because he didn't really want the auctioneer to get like his face busted or anything. It's not really his fault. And
it
then,
really isn't. He's done nothing.
yeah,
The auctioneer
it's not
is
his
like,
fault.
I'm gonna post a link in the chat if it lets me. It might because I'm a mod. Willis looks a lot like Teddy Roosevelt. That's kind of who I've modeled him after. Speaking of making Americans my villains, looks a lot like that kind of a vibe person.
Yeah, and then he's gonna look at the auctioneer and then just say, "Well, this is not a successful one. First, this vial is fake, and now the objects are on fire. So I assume my book is on fire as well. You will not be getting any payment from me."
The
Goodbye.
auctioneer almost barely cares and is currently looking to corral
He's just
people
like,
to help with
"Toodles."
the fire, and everything. And again, even the auctioneer in this case, it's not like he's Southgate's professional auctioneer. He's clearly from something else and is doing this service for the day. And so he's like, "Fucking, this is the worst."
Yeah. I'm never
But after Hicks
volunteering
said like that to both of them, he's just gonna like walk out or like go find like Nhudrel and Fang, and then because he's obviously seen Yuri leave, so he's like, "Cool, let me go find the other two and make sure they're out."
This poor man's just like, "I'm never volunteering for anything ever again."
Never do anything for free. Remember, kids.
Nope. Remember that, kids.
Censor your
Volunteering
fees.
And do cocaine.
Get that paper, kids. Get that paper. Sign employment contracts and make sure that your employers honor those contracts and have hazard pay.
Or else this might happen to you, a Yuri.
Or else a magical fae might magical fae and a other planar elf might manipulate a situation into pure absolute chaos around you.
And if in doubt, just start a fire.
When in doubt, just start a fire. I mean, is there anything more Dungeons and Dragons than fuck it, fire? The plans aren't working, fire. So you all, Fang, Nhudrel, Hicks, all of you kind of walk away. Willis fully flummoxed, I should say, by Hicks's words, absolutely beginning to do damage control on this whole situation, very much immediately considering reporting to the sort of town crier and their version of sort of news periodical that all right, I'm gonna have to make sure that the story is the story I want to come out of this and everything. The other wealthy people that have bid on things hovering around in concern around the fire as people are trying to put it out. It will go out eventually, right? It was a candle started fire. It's a lean-to shack. Some of the things will be damaged. Some of them will be fine. Just a little bit of a smoke smell to them. But the book is fine and it's in Yuri's hands. Yuri, you portaled off to rooftops and everything like that. Do you eventually circle back to where you and the rest can kind of meet in a kind of off in the distance location, far away from the notice of any of this group?
I would say yeah, but that'd probably be a lie. Yuri, to be fair, he would be. I know exactly where he would go. He would go that tree that he liked hanging upside down in at the tavern, and he would go sit there, and he's just gonna start reading the book. Trying to.
Puppy.
Taco?
My baby's back. Hello, baby boy.
Hi, baby.
Yuri, if you crack open the book, well, because I think eventually Hicks and Nhudrel and Fang would suspect that you would go to like sort of a familiar home base tree, if you will. They'd eventually figured out how to find you. But Yuri, while you're cracking open the book and everything, it's not written in any kind of unique language. It's written in bog standard common. And everything. How much time? How much would Yuri care about the like thesis of magic, right? Like the like or the theories around magic and like what it is and what it does.
I think it depends on the magic, to be honest. Like, if it was like enchantment, yes.
That's
but,
definitely in. You definitely, as you kind of
so
like.
it's more like it's more like a magical theory book and like the studies of magic than it. You know, like you can put a like Yuri's probably more there. Like, oh, it's not a storybook that's gonna suck.
No, it's not at all a storybook.
Yeah, Yuri, after like realizing it's, you know, something probably more one of his family members would like. He kind of just like hums and just shuts it again, and then he's just gonna chill in the tree and hang upside down. He's hanging upside down, like turning the pages, trying to read upside down. He's just trying to figure out if he can do it.
Do it, yeah, just doing it. You see various like pictures and discussions around it. You do see little scribbles of some spells you know, some spells you don't know, as far as like the verbal components of them, and everything like that. Some of them half complete, some of them wrong. You know that there's one that almost is like a spell, you know, but it's wrong. And then you notice some of them are right, and everything. But yeah, this is it. But it is very dry, I would say, for Yuri's taste. But the rest of you probably eventually wind up or wind your way around to where you eventually see Yuri upside down in the tree outside of Emmett's Tavern.
As soon as Nhudrel walks around the corner, Yuri's gonna go, Nhudrel, gift, and then just throw it directly at Nhudrel, and just.
I'll catch it with my
face.
It's like that.
I mean, it does knock you down. It's a book that's the size of.
I have no strength. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think gravity does.
I can't actually do damage.
Nhudrel does do no. It has no dex, so it's like a bad throw and a bad catch.
Hicks is just watching with like, my god, that's embarrassing.
But yeah, and Nhudrel, you have a book in your hand. A very big.
You wanted it, so I got it. I may have started the fire, but I got it. Oops. They can make new sheds, right?
Is he?
Yep.
Is he still upside down in the tree?
Yep.
Can I reach him?
Don't know how high this tree is. To be fair, you're pretty fucking tall, so probably yeah.
I would say, yeah, reaching up, you can reach him because he's hanging down. You probably wouldn't be able to reach him if he was sitting upright in the branch, like feet kind of propped up on it, but because he's hanging upside down, yeah, just in hands reach.
Nhudrel's gonna come over, reach up, and drag you out of the tree.
Ah, my tree! No.
And then...
No. Let me go. I will scream. I will scream. There will be a dragon. I'll make a dragon scream. I will make a dragon scream. Let me go right now. I will make a dragon scream. You have 3 seconds. 1, 2.
He's gonna
dragon!
he's gonna look you. He's gonna look you. It's like turn you around, turn your back front, and like double check, and then be like,
"What?
You're
something on my butt. There's something on my butt. Am I on fire?
No, do not.
Oh.
If you wish to walk with us, to be with us, you cannot just go off on by yourself without telling us.
But why?
Because I don't want anything to happen to you.
But what about acting? Are you, but like in the nicest way? If you saw that fire and everything that happened and you expected it, you'd look more suspicious.
We can talk about it, but in the future, please I was really worried.
Ah. Yuri just upside down is gonna hug him again. Ah.
Wait, is Yuri hugging Nhudrel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
you
blue
can.
flailing. Like, what is happening?
As
Why?
Nhudrel's flailing, Hicks is just gonna walk up and just look at Yuri. And then just be like,
Hi. Hicks wants a hug too.
Oh
Come
my
here.
god.
Yuri's gonna try and flail to get off.
Oh my god.
No, Hicks will just like take a step back. Like, don't touch me. And just be like,
Yeah.
good work. Those were very interesting items that you crafted.
Oh. Yeah. That was oops.
I think
Is
at this
Fang
point,
okay?
Nhudrel would like realize what was going on. Like, you made the things.
Mhm.
Oh, you didn't honestly think I had unicorn horns and shadow diamonds on me now, did you?
I had many questions. Yes.
Mhm.
Does that mean we?
I don't-
Did we? He's just gonna look around a bit. Did we just swindle a charity auction?
What's a charity?
Nhudrel, we stole items. Why are you worrying about swindling?
What's a charity?
Oh, we stole items.
When you give money to other people.
No, that's a gift.
A non-consensual gift.
When you give
This
some,
is like one person, two
No,
people whose common language is not common, and they're trying to explain words to each other.
this is amazing.
So if I give someone something that explodes, but it's a gift, but it's non-consensual, that's charity.
Who your enemy, yes?
Well, it doesn't have to, it would explode into powder or something. It's not gonna blow anyone up.
Fang just like quietly, finally kind of coming out of it, just goes, charity is gift. Gift is charity. Same thing.
So we stole a gift? But who was the gift for?
No. Gift.
Eh.
Charity. Gift. Money. We stole item for buying. We reclaimed blood. Blood was stolen.
Yeah, then it's not stealing, it's hers.
Hicks is just gonna kind of like be like, I'm not even gonna try and explain this to this crazy green boy, and he's gonna just turn to Fang and then just say, I'm sorry that is all I could do for now, but hopefully if he loses enough of an image, you won't be able to do that type of business again.
Fang kind of just nods and fidgets with her stuffed bunny that she won, and I'm not going to say this is canon for Reia, but has like internal thoughts about what kinds of consequences need to happen to Willis for what has happened.
I'll add him to the fertilizer. I have no qualms.
Oh
Hey.
my god.
Oh, I can
Come
grow
on.
flowers.
You don't have qualms about adding a poacher to the fertilizer? Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't a poacher and murderer? Come on. Well, let's hear.
To be fair, we don't know who these tribes people are yet. They might be demons, and we might be being duped. So we never know.
You never know. Anytime a community of people in a city refer to a group of people from far away as tribes of savages, it's always a good look. Dangerous, strange foreigners. But yeah. Nhudrel.
Look at the book.
You have
Yuri
the
would
book.
say that.
He's holding it, but he's also having a little bit of a crisis.
It's okay. The book's not trapped. I checked it for you. I made sure it didn't explode in your face, so I put it in my face instead.
Don't do that.
Why? I'm much more resistant to magic than you are.
Yes, but do you know how it would feel?
I have exploded multiple times now.
Well, I don't want you to
It
explode on my
happens.
behalf.
Did you know one time I read one of my grandfather's books and then I just woke up in a different year?
Canon.
But it wasn't the year that you're thinking of. No.
Also
I wasn't thinking of any specific
It was the year between.
Hicks is just gonna like try and take the book from Nhudrel, as he knows that Nhudrel's just gonna be so utterly confused by what Yuri's talking about, but Hicks knows what Yuri's talking about. So he's just kind of like,
It was actually just a leap year, and Yuri just doesn't know the word for it. But
Yama, like if Hicks reaches for the book, Nhudrel's just gonna unconsciously just hand it over to him because he's just so fucking like, the fuck is this green thing talking about? Like, just.
Oh, also, you guys
Hicks is
don't
not
think
gonna
they're
go
start
anywhere. He's just
hunting-
gonna like he'll just take the book and then like start looking at it, but he's not gonna like leave. It's right there, so
You don't
you
think-
could always have it back.
You don't think they're going to start trying to track unicorn horns now, right? They won't find any here. They can't. But there's one they can find.
Humans don't have the brain capacity for that. You don't need to worry.
I'm
Okay, that's
starting
good.
to think. I'm starting to think I don't have the brain capacity to think. He's like the words.
I mean, you might not.
What?
You know, sometimes, when normal people see certain things, they go crazy. And
Hicks is just gonna be turning the pages of the book and then just, without even looking up, just say, if he confuses you, just stop listening to him. His kind likes to play in the riddles.
this is not a riddle.
To him it is.
Hicks.
Is life a riddle for you?
Nhudrel is questioning everything in his life right now.
Is life a riddle?
That's
That's a great philosophical question to put to a bookish
Nhudrel,
person.
if you
Is
ever get too confused, just, focus on what you do know. You don't have to know and understand everything, but you can understand, okay, there's a horn for a beast you don't understand, and there's potentially could be tracked. Just focus what you do know, and then the rest will slowly build up around it. It's easy. Just take a breath and figure out what you do know, not what you don't.
He's gonna take a deep breath.
You got a
And
book.
then
Read the book.
low exhale and then look at Yuri and go, thank you for thinking of me and getting me something I wanted.
It's okay, I'll set a fire for you anytime you want.
No, that is not. Listen. We need to have.
Yuri's
a talk.
gonna cackle at that. Yuri was joking. Yuri's just gonna burst out laughing. Yuri, I don't even like that. I'm quite scared of it. So that was. I'm quite flammable, so no, I wouldn't. No, I'm
Hicks, while you're flipping through the pages, even if you're just casually glancing, I would say that it is, it's a very academic logging of like magical theories and kind of understanding the like under the hood of magic. I would say, can you give me there's something you're automatically gonna get, but can you give me either a Hicks we'll go with either an insight or an arcana check. Either of those would be the only ones that I think would get you a little bit more.
14.
14. Okay, so the thing
On
you
insight.
definitely get is that there is stuff that you're a little impressed is in here. You like there's some you don't have the time to analyze this and be like, how accurate is this as a whole and everything, but you're glancing at things and there's certain things that are like right that you wouldn't expect like anything in the material plane to like really understand. Nothing specifically about like
learning.
Your hometown, your home zone, or anything like that. But like, just an impressive amount of research. With a 14, I'm gonna say that there is a little bit of concern here because there is you don't have time to like really investigate it in this moment. But you don't have time to really investigate in this moment, but you might want to look into it later. There's some playing with the sort of passing of souls, and that's a little bit more your neighborhood. Playing with the resistance of passing of souls. That's a little bit your neighborhood. And I think what catches your eye about it in the briefest of moment is unrelated to divine or like the sort of like God-inspired magic that is kind of more known to you, more known to people that study magic, your revivifies, if you will, and things like that. This is different. This is not the same, and it's not immediately also apparent that it's like the evil necromantic side of it either. It's something different. Something outside of those things. And you just kind of get the briefest thing, and you're like, well, that probably can't be anything, but it is something that you could be interested in studying in between sessions, kind of thing.
Here we go.
So that's what you get from it, Hicks. Nhudrel?
Well, I'll DM you later and be like, help! What did he read?
Yeah,
he will ask. He'll ask if he can like read the book. Obviously, at some point.
Obviously, yeah. You'll have the downtime to do this. I just don't want to spend 20 minutes spouting theory at you where where it's just going to go into the ether, and we're going to forget it 4 sessions down mutually. You're all out here. Auction's done. It seems like that. Hicks is thumbing through the book. Nhudrel, you and Yuri have thanked each other. Fang seems relatively calm now. What do you do?
I mean, Yuri's still probably going to tell Hicks. Tell Nhudrel to get the book. He's like, it's your book. It's yours. It's not. I didn't get it for him. He's very stressed about the fact that someone's got the wrong person's wrong gift. It's like it's breaking Yuri's brain a little bit. It's like he can't you can't handle this stuff, and Yuri's there like, no, get it from him. It's genuinely distressing Yuri.
And Hicks is just ignoring Yuri while he's paging through it.
If the book is mine, I am allowed to share it with the people I wish to share it with, Yuri.
Oh, okay. If you're sharing it, that's fine.
Pat. Just like pats him on the just pat.
Like, that's fine. No, I'm good.
Can we leave this village now? I don't like it here. I want to go play with the rift.
You wish to play with the what?
The storm thing, the storm rift. And we spoke about.
You wish to go towards, and he's just going to point to the general direction.
I told you I
where
want to
all the
investigate
refugees
it
are
with all of
coming
you.
from. Yes. I think perhaps before we do so, maybe we pack what we might need.
Pack what?
Things like food, resources, that sort of thing. I don't believe we will be finding that where we are going.
What could we need though? I can just find food. What else?
You can do what?
Find food.
You can do what?
Oh, yes. Well,
what do you think I said?
I don't know. I am deaf anyway. Speaking for both Nhudrel and me, I think we, especially if we do get hurt, there are certain things we might want to stock up on before we go. And sometimes there are places without food. Especially if that place is on fire.
But it's boring here.
It is boring. And
may I remind you that you set a shed on fire?
Okay,
I don't think you can go anywhere without it becoming interesting.
But no, this is like really boring compared to like you. Yeah, but
I don't know where how your place where you come from might be, but Here, this is about as exciting as it would get usually.
You say that, and Yuri's head flopped back like, no!
Like a kid in a department store, just like,
and she just, why have I been left here? This is, what the hell have I been, just wailing, like, why have I been put in the most boring place imaginable if this is as exciting as it gets?
While you're having this conversation, everybody roll me a perception check.
Also, to explain, Yuri is still not out of guys. He is just a tremendous guy.
He's still
in my
still
mind,
in a...
Yuri
Ooh, a whole
never
two
looks like
again.
Yuri unless you tell me Yuri looks like Yuri.
Yeah, Yuri's too busy having a breakdown too.
Yuri, what do you
Hicks
look?
is too busy looking at the book.
Yuri, what face are you wearing now?
He's probably just like a half elf, random half elf.
Okay, Yuri, we should talk. In the future, when you change like this, could you make one thing consistent that we can find you easily?
No, because then other people will figure that out. No.
It can be something small. Like you always have a green hairband or something. Small. That we know what to look out for.
Defeats the purpose. You should be able to know it's me by my very soul.
Yuri, I am unable to recognize souls. So I am not...
Well, that's okay, I can't either.
So you are expecting me to do something that you can't do?
Yeah.
I see.
Do that with everyone. Everyone has to do that with people.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of true. You know, I can expect you to be tall. I can't expect me to be tall.
Okay, so about the green band, what do you think? It will help us know where you are, and we will not be anxious. And if anything happens to you, we can help. But it will still keep
He'll
you...
point at Hicks and just say, I don't think he cares. All right.
Well, I for one do.
He threatened to kill me.
I have to say that is between you two. But...
No!
Hicks is just absolutely ignoring this conversation.
Yep.
Just reading the book. He's listening to it, but he's choosing not to get involved.
Look, I don't know. That's the honest. It makes me uncomfortable. The idea of... I don't know. It's just, it feels wrong. That feels wrong. But
you
I'll
also
think
understand
about
why it makes us uncomfortable. Well, it makes me uncomfortable not knowing where you are, not knowing I can...
I come from a place where not knowing is better than knowing, or at least more normal than like you're not meant to understand everything or know everything. Like that sounds like those are set rules with my magic, and that feels.
And in this existential crisis for both sides, where one person is like, "You're not supposed to know things," and the other person is, "It's my goal to know things."
Yeah.
Fang just goes, "You could try smelling."
No.
Unless Yuri makes themselves not smell like Yuri.
No, I don't change my spell.
Yeah, and Fang's like, "I can smell them."
Fang, I
can put myself in Fang headspace, by the way. I'm constantly doing this.
Oh, no.
Talk is Fang.
I fucking love Fang.
Yuri will just look. Okay, look. I'm not promising. I can't. No. But maybe in time. And maybe I'll let you know. But there's also going to be times where I just don't want you to know it's me, and that's going to happen. And I'm not going to pretend it's not, because that would be a lie.
Okay, that is fine. I don't wish to make yourself uncomfortable on my account. I just wanted to talk to you about this.
Well, all of you are having this conversation and everything, and while this is happening, while Hicks is reading the book and you're discussing what Yuri thinks, Nhudrel,
Oh God.
You're having this conversation. You're the only one who rolled a 19. On your perception check, Nhudrel, corner of your eye, off in the distance, like several buildings away, and everything.
Steve, your camera's just out of focus. Quick.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. There we go.
Bring back gay mummy's face.
Come on.
Focus on the gay mummy's face.
Track my hand all the way back. Nope, all the way back.
Make your camera call you mommy.
No.
I would be very concerned if an inanimate object called.
Yeah, I don't
mommy.
need inanimate objects to call me mommy. That's just
Mother,
There
I
we go.
crave violence.
There we go.
Hey, it worked.
So nonetheless,
Thanks for the
in the distance, the person that was bidding against Hicks,
the stern-looking dude.
severe-looking person, is
My
there,
bestie.
and they're not. It's not so much that they're hiding as they're just being non-noticeable, right? Like they're not like peeking around a corner. They're just kind of off in the distance, not in a convenient eyesight for anyone. Eyesight, and they are looking at your foursome there.
Like in the process of talking to Yuri, Nhudrel's just going to suddenly elbow Hicks and be like, "I think your friend has found us."
Hicks is just gonna kind of like what, and then like what are you talking about, kind of thing. But then
I don't have
obviously, like,
friends.
What are
what?
friends? Who needs that?
Follow Nhudrel's like eye, because I'm assuming like Nhudrel's gonna be like over there, kind of thing.
like do the little head sort of gesture, like that direction.
Hicks will then close the book, give it back to Nhudrel, and then just turn and like look at this person, and like make sure that he knows that Hicks sees him.
As
watch
you
him.
as you put the book, I will use an illusion on the book just to make it look like anything, like a different book.
Mm-hmm.
It is now a guide to flirting with frogs.
Guide to flirting with frogs. A 2,000-page guide to flirting with frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
it's about the
Sammy.
mating cycles of flirting.
Hey, Sammy.
Flirting of frogs, yeah. Yeah.
Accurate.
Well,
Fucking.
Gave you the
I know.
zappers. But yeah, Hicks
Oh.
would like look at this
it's
person.
not Yuri's fault that Nhudrel's a frog.
He's not a frog.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, that was just my first thought. It would literally just be like, I don't know, frog mating stuff, like it not like
Frog calls.
like
2,000
yeah,
different
like
frog
how
calls.
frogs
There we go.
Oh my
choose
God.
their mate and blah 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 blah. Blah. This does not matter. Let's just move on from the frog.
Nope, it matters. It's lore.
Waker.
Yeah, Hicks. You see.
You fucker.
You make sure the icon. You make sure that they see that you see them, right?
Yeah.
Do you maintain their gaze, or do you just like then flippantly dismiss it?
Well, he'd kind of watch him to see if he moves at all. Like, is he gonna like come closer, or is he just gonna stand there?
There is hundreds of feet between you, but it almost feels like you're standing directly across from each other, just sort of staring at each other in the eyes. Staring at each other in the eyes.
The eyes
It's
met
a
across
little
the
bit like-
distance.
It's a little bit like Last Jedi scenes between Rey and Kylo. We're just you're
I have a
like
new ship.
right there.
Oh, I'm probably gonna end up killing this guy. So
And me too. So give it time.
Oh my God.
you love a guy you're gonna kill.
That is some
so-
tragic romance right there.
And in your head, via in your head, magically, but in sync with their lip movements. I know you didn't have. Or I know your bids were false, and that you could not have possibly paid those for those items.
All I can imagine is Hicks going, "What?"
Wait, is this in all our heads or just Hicks's?
no,
Just
just
Hicks.
Hicks.
Rude.
a message.
Oh, I thought he was mouthing it. Sorry, that's my bad.
He is mouthing it. He's mouthing it, but he's like again hundreds of feet away. So like only in Hicks's kind of like moment, like kind of social in the filmed dramatic version of this. We can see Hicks and we can see this person, and we've cut them together with a blur split line so that the audience can see both of them in the same shot. And and he's mouthing it as he messages it, but he doesn't actually speak anything. It's just in Hicks's head.
Is it like the telepathic speech thing so that Hicks can reply?
Yeah,
Or not?
Hicks is able to reply to this.
Okay. Hicks would just say, "It was an honor betting against you," kind of thing. And then he would, but he'd keep like the eye contact. But like that's all he would. He wouldn't like agree. He wouldn't disagree. He would just say,
"I love that, love that," and he goes,
It's just they're eyeing each other.
"Yes."
I just like the
actually
idea
like
that upside
murdering
down
each
Yuri.
other by their gazes. But
Yeah, and it's like, I'll admit, I'm not unimpressed myself.
Ooh, you got him to use double negatives.
I don't, or I hope you enjoy your time at Southgate. I apologize I wasn't able to greet you sooner.
Noodle's gonna wave at
Kill
him.
him. Oh, and if Yuri sees that, he'll go, hey! While upside down.
Is he back on his tree again?
Back in the tree!
Oh my god.
Yeah. He's back in the tree.
This fucking monkey, I swear.
He likes being in a
Well,
tree.
if you
You
have
have
so
the
much,
ability to respond as well.
Yeah.
You're like, this continues to be a conversation. If Hicks chooses to, you don't have to.
You just hear what the fuck in your head as he sees us.
what the fuck are those people doing?
You don't hear anything in your head, but there is a moment of almost sympathetic acknowledgement, like an existence, an awareness.
Right, we need to beat him up. I'm not.
Where Hicks, you can tell that this stranger has clocked these other two, and you can tell that they've had a very instinctually similar reaction to that vibe that you yourself might have. Where it's just like, that's fine. That's whatever's happening there. Sure, I'm engaged in a conversation.
What's happening over there?
He better sleep with one eye open. That's what I'm saying.
Hicks would say, in reply, that we seem to have a similar interest in items. I'd be willing to talk to you about it in person.
It's a date.
It like he sits there and it's like, I'll send a messenger.
Not in person.
Hey, bitch.
And send a messenger for a time to meet. Now I have other things to attend to. And then he just turns and walks off in another direction, not towards you and everything. And
your friend,
walks
he's
off.
leaving.
He's going to contact me. He's going to contact me, and we're going to meet in person. So
Do you have friends?
You can.
chooses not to.
Did
He
you-
chooses to not answer Yuri.
Yuri
was
has
just
such
gonna
a
be like-
shit-eating grin.
Noodle's just gonna. Did I just call him Noodle? Nhudrel is just going to be like,
Noodle.
shut it. Anyway, he's gonna look at you and be like,
What?
did
Did
you
you say shouted?
shut it?
Oh, he said
I
shouted.
also heard sharded, and I was sure I was
Shouted,
wrong.
shitted, same thing.
Shouted.
My
Shut it.
accent is
Shut
that
it.
bad. I do apologize. Anyway, so Nhudrel will look at Hicks and be like, and you got all of this from a look at this distance?
No, he spoke to me telepathically, so I would suggest that when we meet him, if you have the decency and comprehension to actually behave around him, you need to watch your thoughts.
Me?
All of you.
Oh no.
I'd rather the green one not come, though.
I'm
I'm coming.
I behave perfectly.
No, but
Your
he's saying that
thoughts-
he's a mind reader.
Oh,
Yes. Be
Did
careful
you know
what
my
you think
mum
around
can
him.
read minds, and that made my childhood very hard because you can't get away with anything.
I'll think of frogs the whole time.
Frogs.
Gestures to the book. It was the first thing that came to mind.
The book's normal again now. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. You changed it. You can't fucking lie.
But yes, it seems that my rather, I don't know what you people think of, but my attempt to get in contact with the higher ups has proven successful. These people may know more about the rift.
I am starting to think, Hicks, that you tend to be successful in whatever you decide to do.
Yes, I'm part of a regiment for a reason.
He will be
You're
killed
part-
and tortured if he fails.
You're part of a what for a reason?
You'll enjoy it if he fails.
Yuri whispered that. Yuri recently said that.
Nix just shoots him like a death glare. Like, no, I will kill you. That's his, like, you know how he threatened Yuri with that death glare? It's the same death glare now.
Yeah, Yuri just go, not lying.
You know, where we come from, we would have put you both in a room until you've made up.
Let's do that. It sounds fun.
We also usually do this for children.
What's your point?
Just quiet.
The image I have of Yuri's just like completely earnest smile of saying, "What's your point?" I mean,
While hanging upside down.
While hanging upside down. I don't see why that would affect any statement that just happened. You hear the sort of ringing bell that you've become familiar with at Emmett's Tavern, since you're kind of outside of it. That like the food is fresh. It is kind of like the sort of midday to late day sort of like lunch that happens kind of Emmett serves food all the time, but he coordinates meals to kind of come out in waves, or coordinates big batches of foods to be cooked in waves, so that there's almost always something new and hot, and he always rings a bell for those that want to come out there. You're considering leaving the place. You have to investigate the rift, or the storm, or whatever is going on South, and you have to figure out a way to get out of Southgate.
Well, we can just teleport over the wall. I don't know.
Yeah, we can just jump off the wall.
We're
you
okay.
can do that. Two of you can do that.
The other two can just, like, I don't know, acrobatics checks of some bullshit. I don't know.
Well, what I'll do is I'll just become titty lady, flash my titties, use distraction, jump over the wall, sorted.
And sorted. So 100% sorted.
And I'll go blah, 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 as I do it.
Oh dear God.
Every guard you meet, I'm more of an ass guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it would work. I think it would at least keep them
this
distracted.
This doesn't interest me. You go up to another one. Sorry, I'm Ace. I don't care.
I'm more interested in schlongs.
Yeah, Yuri's like, I wish I could do butts. I just can't do butts.
Butts are hard.
It's like, see, he just don't ever look down at the bottom. It's just a pixelated blur of Yuri. If you look at the disguise self of Yuri's feet,
It's just like the Sims pixels.
Yeah.
It just goes into.
But the dinner bell rings, or the late afternoon bell rings for fresh food. You have things to consider. Nhudrel has a book to look at. A messenger may come.
I would prefer, like, he's talking to the group now. If we stay one more night before we go, maybe see and figure out how, well, first off, to leave this place. And there are debts I need to settle.
Who are you in debt to?
What?
Who are you in debt to?
Emmett.
for the rooms and
Who?
The owner of the
food.
tavern.
Why? Why
Well,
didn't you
yes, we
just
will
come
be
with
staying
me?
another
I
night.
just got some nice berries. It was lovely.
We'll be staying another night anyway because this loser of the auction has to meet with me still.
Well, but he said he's sending you a messenger, right? Surely you can't just wait around. You must like him if you're gonna wait around for him.
I like information, yes.
I bet you do.
I have no idea what this conversation is about.
No, and then Yuri's gonna like open his palm and a little love heart and Hicks' face, and the other man's face is gonna be a sign painter.
Oh my god.
It's just Hicks is not even gonna react. He's just still gonna be absolute like poker face. As if like Yuri never did that. He's just whatever.
Fang just claps at the illusionary.
Yeah.
Fang is just like, so pretty, hungry,
Yeah.
and just goes into Emmett's tavern and immediately orders for 4 people for Fang, to get their food. But with this session and considerations of pinning Yuri down into a city for one more night, and possibly getting more information, and giving Nhudrel time to kind of wrap up business before all of you disembark to the storm that still hasn't moved. It hasn't encroached any closer, but it is still raging just as it ever was when it first appeared, to the south, far in the distance to the south. And we will end the session here, because I don't want to get into anything that really like is possibly physically threatening to you. But nonetheless, not that I have plans for that. Why would I have plans for that? Anyway, 2 roleplay episodes. The damage dice are getting itchy. But nonetheless,
Yes, more fertilizer.
I can't roll for
God.
shit, so I'm just gonna die when we go into a combat. So
You
you
just
No,
guys...
need-
you're gonna
only-
die tonight. You're not even gonna make it to the next combat.
Good. Maybe I'll roll better in my next life.
But nonetheless, that's all I have. Jack,
Well,
you
thank
want to end the
you.
stream? It's your channel.
That's fine.
Yeah, thanks
Oh
for,
right, there's a stream. I
Oh,
forgot about
right,
that.
it's a stream. Okay.
It's a stream, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually forgot that was the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's exactly how it should be. We're just
Absolutely.
playing tabletop.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty a good place to end. I have a new ship. And we are going to go raid Ash Cosplay, which is a friend of mine, currently playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. I have no idea what this is. It looks like some sort of simulation game.
You would like the game.
It's
I
Animal
would.
You would like it.
Crossing, but Disney.
Yeah, you would.
Oh, that actually does sound like something I would enjoy. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you next week. I hope to plan to have episodes of this up. I know I've been promising this for like a month, but I will be working on that this week.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Nope. Thanks for being here. Bye.